Oh, I'm a little bit late on the. I got lost for time. I'm 5 seconds late. Hello, hello. Welcome back to Satisfactory with Spellcrafter Gelstrand, who's pissing right now, and we are playing Satisfactory. I'm a little bit rusty because I went and in the interim between this episode and last episode, I think I went and made like a whole another solo world and got to this point in the game. And then I stopped. Also, I need to adjust my screen size, actually. That's not right. There we go. I had it set incorrectly. There we go. There we go. 4 angles off. I got to move this over there. That there. Boosh, boosh. Oh, no, it's gone wrong again. One moment. One moment. Boosh. Okay. I think that's correct. I don't like how that's green. I'm going to bring that down. Bring that down as well. Okay, I think that's how I have it. Ooh. But I believe we've decided that today we're gonna catch up the aesthetics of the factory because they've been neglected a little. We've been building factory, but we haven't been prettying it up enough. Sort of the walkways. We're gonna add lots of walkways. And I suspect this area here will be a challenge, because there are some things here that haven't been done before. We've got walkways we've got conveyor belts quite high up, going places, and maybe we can do something about that. We've got big walls of walkways, hard to navigate around. So we're going to have to figure out what to do about that. It looks like Gatsman's already begun. I don't know if he did this before or today, but I see he's found a solution to the big high walkways, so he just put them above. That'll probably work. And I think it would be nice if we connect the walkways over to the plastic area here, and I think I should move this conveyor belt. I think they're a little bit in the way. I'm surprised these are still being used. They should have been full up, or I suspect we're sinking some stuff. Let me have a look. Yes, there's no way this is full up. I think we're sinking it. Where do these go? They go in here, do they? Oh, they're making... Oh, this is black powder, making smokeless powder, and I believe we're sinking... Yes, we're sinking it. Are we... We're not even collecting the smokeless powder. Well, that's a factory to make in the future, I think. Oh, my throat feels a little dry. Let me drink some water. I just finished eating some muffins. Bum 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 bum. So it's Mark. They're both Mark 1. Yeah, I think I should. See,
Bladder empty, hands washed.
Bro's pissing. Yeah, I think so. This is a straight
no.
line.
I'm pissed.
I could bring. I wonder where I could bring this conveyor belt.
So hi, is chat here? Can I say hi to chat?
Hello. Yes, we are on the
Hi
air.
chat. Hi chat. Hi chat you. Hi. Waves my hand vigorously. Hi.
How goes it, Mr. Gelteran?
I'm doing well.
Right, so that's going in a straight line. I've decided I am going to move this sulfur conveyor belt.
The sulfur conveyor belt.
I'm just thinking of where exactly I want to move it. I've got this big rock in the way, and I wonder if I should go behind the rock or in front of the rock.
You see the issue, right? Is that like the rock is like in the way, and that's why I didn't bother like making like a proper like thing for it.
I'm gonna go in front of the rock, like that.
We'll put a walkway through the center of this. Teehee. What if I do? Ooh, hang on! I can align this, make an X pattern. We're so back. A full crossing. Oh, huge. Okay. Humongous. It's off grid a little.
What is?
Walkway.
Oh, Ripperino.
It's off grid by half. I don't care. Whatever. It'll be fine.
Okay.
It's off by half a theoretical grid. Not even a real grid, a theoretical one.
Go there.
Not
That
too
can
fussed
go
about it.
There.
We'll
Can
do.
go there. Okay. Wait, no, I can do that. And connect that like that.
Do this, and we connect this up like this. Huge.
Huge.
All right. Oh, okay. It's looking kind of good now. It's actually looking kind of good. Son, this is gonna look pretty cool.
What are you doing?
I'm building the conveyor belt, well, the walkways.
I see.
I'm actually gonna add this as well. Hold up. I'm gonna do this. Do that. Make a catwalk with some room. There we go. And on the end of this catwalk, we will add the hypertube.
Hypertube.
The hypertube support. Right, we can put it up through the center. Okay, we'll go up through the center. Huge, right? Okay.
Okay, let's.
It will not. What the freak? What the Freddy freaker? It's over. Oh, here we go. We can do that, We place a conveyor belt stacker. This conveyor belt stacker is actually the best way to get this to work. There it is. Conveyor belt stacking pole.
Okay, so it's coal on top, sulfur on the bottom.
Sulfur to sulfur. What were we talking about before I did disappear? What were we yapping about?
Important business.
Important schmizness? Whoa, that's crazy.
So that's sulfur. That's coming. Hopefully, I've got that one set to the bottom. What I do?
Hypertube support. We'll actually put it out here, actually.
There we go. It's done. Neat and tidy.
I'm gonna use your thing to do the hypertube, by the way.
My thing?
Yeah,
Oh, my conveyor area? Sure thing.
Yeah, your conveyor belt you placed.
Yeah.
It's not following your thing though. Teehee.
Well, so long as it looks good.
It'll look okay. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm sorry. But it's gonna look okay. We need stackable things. What are we talking about? What were we talking about, son? You haven't answered that question. I'm a little upset.
I've lost my train of thought.
Oh no, has he lost his train of thought, chat?
Well, I'll introduce another topic then.
That's fine, yeah. Introduce another topic then if we can't remember.
So I was watching a YouTube video about someone ranting about Superman. And they were talking about how there's this plot line of Superman being an immigrant.
Yes.
And
kind of technically is, to be fair.
But it's such a
it
pointless, it's juvenile. It's like fat greasy neckbeard on his computer half naked arguing about the nitty-gritty of a fictional character. It's like it's like how in Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know how
yes.
there's that bit where they're in a Fire Nation airship and they've got and they oh look, they're not attacking us because they think that we're on their side, and it's like this is literally a war crime.
Yeah.
But no one, they would never actually mention that in the actual show, that because that would just be stupid because it's a cartoon.
Oh yeah. No, you're completely right.
And it's like when the fans talk about it, it's kind of they're kind of joking, they're not really serious. Well, that's exactly what the Superman thing. Superman's technically American. It's just like shut up.
No one cares. No one cares.
Yeah, it's against the fun of the fictional universe. It's like Krabby Patty, the Mr. Krabs. He's there's severe labor law violations here. It's like, dude, it's SpongeBob.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah,
it's a cartoon. You're right.
But
you're actually so right.
You know the difference
right.
between the example of Superman and the example of the Last Airbender and the example of you know what the difference between them and Superman is? The Superman example? Someone actually made a Superman comic about this and got it published. where like they're like, oh, he's an immigrant, and then Superman's like, yeah, and I support all immigrants and all this stuff. Like it's like that. That's the big problem is the fact that it actually got made. It actually got made. Also, I need to recalibrate my thing because my mouth's not opening.
What do you think of the? What do you think of this hypertube? What do you think of this hypertube?
I will look in a second. I'll look in a second. 1 moment.
Okay. No, I get what you mean. It's like Superman is meant to be about fun and whimsy, and they remove the fun and whimsy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Also, I like how you're using the noodle mode because that's like I started
noodle
using
mode is
that.
pretty.
It makes so much sense. It makes so much sense for the hypertube.
I think it's pretty. So that's why I use it. I think it looks nice, and it looks like it carries my momentum when I
agree. It just fits the style, you know, like noodle mode for pipes or conveyor belts. No. I want nice 90-degree angles, but hypertubes
with pipes,
smooth curves.
Yeah, okay, with pipes I can kind of get it though.
With pipes
I can understand.
It's conditional. Some areas it makes sense to smooth curves. Other areas I want clean curves.
Yeah, noodling.
It does look pretty cool.
Noodle looks really well with this hypertube though. This hypertube lane looks pretty. It looks pretty nice, and it's like functional as well.
It adds to the aesthetic. I really hope that in the next update, like I know they're adding junctions to it. I don't know how they're going to work because like the hypertube's kind of fast. Like do you have to like hold left or right to like go? I don't know, but
probably.
But I hope that in general they make the hypertubes just overall faster. That's what I hope. Because especially going upwards, like I think what they should do is they should like maintain the momentum a bit more, because like they're just not fast enough. Like people don't use them simply because there's not a good option.
That's true. Right, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do this here.
There was like a, so I don't know if you've seen this, and you get this with like all kinds of like nerdy games and stuff. The devs will release a little teaser trailer of what's coming new, and then the fans of the thing will analyze the video, looking at every little detail. And one thing I don't like, what they do all the time, is they theorize what's gonna be based on the thing, and then they immediately jump to conclusions. Because
they're literally
like they have wishful thinking. Like for example, they're looking at the thing and they see in the distance a little blob on one of the hypertube bits. And they're like, oh, could those be booster junctions for increasing speed? Because everyone really wants booster junctions. They'd be really handy to have.
That sounds good. Actually, I like that.
Yeah, I agree. However, it was like this. You could bet it was just a tiny little few pixels in the distance. And then eventually the devs do a little Q&A thing where they talk about it, and they're like, yeah, it's not a booster junction, guys, I'm sorry. But like this guy made this video, like he just kept bringing this up again. He's like, oh yeah, and these here, which I think could be booster junctions, and this is like, it's not booster junctions.
Okay, but in that player's defense, it's a teaser trailer that's supposed to get you asking those questions.
I know, but it's like the way they go about it, it's almost like they don't think rationally. They immediately they think, oh, I'm confident that this is booster junctions. Or like with the previous one, it's like they were confident that it was like they see a new machine. They're like, oh, could this be a teleporter? Because like, you know, they really want teleporters, and now they did have teleporters, but it wasn't shown in the teaser trailer. But they thought that this other machine, which was a completely different machine, they're like, oh, this is obviously a teleporter. So it wasn't a teleporter.
I don't know. I think getting a little speculative is fun. I think
it's got to be rational. It's got to be rational. And half the time, sometimes like the things that they think are going to be added are like kind of overpowered. Like they're not thinking as a game designer. They're thinking of someone who wants like quality of life things.
Also true. Okay, but you say that, but like this is like, I'm gonna be real. Satisfactory is not a game of balance. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be completely. This is not a game of balance. The most powerful form of mobility is the parachute. Right,
the 92-degree angle.
And they give you that at the start of the game, right? You know, I'm gonna say it's overpowered, but whatever, right? Also, I'm adding a new power line that connects to the hypertube, so it's on the same network.
To be honest, now while I do like the utility of the parachute, it's obviously an unintended game thing. Like like if they had the ability to, they probably would not let the player go up 92-degree surfaces.
I see. Anyway, come test out this. Come take a look at this hypertube.
Oh, you've already done. Where's the entrance?
It's kind of slick. Holy shit! Take a look at it. It's real nice.
This is real nice.
This is a real nice hypertube.
Yes, that's good. And it connects straight to the walkway. That's a good idea.
Yep. Do you like how I've given you like a landing area as well, where
Oh,
like
yeah,
so you won't
yeah.
bump into people who are on the
You can take damage if you crash into a wall, you know.
Yeah. So I was like, actually, I'll make it so you don't take damage, and you have like this little like
Yeah,
landing
like
area.
I thought, like I wasn't sure like whether it's a good idea to have it go just across the terrain like this, but now that I went through it, it's like yeah, it makes perfect sense. Like the
Yeah, it's
faster
a
the better.
hypertube,
The
yeah.
faster the better. Like of course it takes the beeline.
Yeah, and it's also like still connected to all the. It's all connected to like foundation and everything.
Yeah, so like you go from walkway to walkway. It makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's a shortcut. Mm-hmm. It's a little shortcut based on the base you've built. I think that's the best part of it.
All right. So I'm gonna. I'll tell you. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna figure out where my computer factory is because I can't actually remember where it is. And,
Oh no!
And
wait, you forgot it?
it's somewhere. I'm gonna go fly around and figure out where it is.
Son.
Look, I've got a bad memory. Okay. and then I'm gonna go fix my my splitters.
Son.
So once I figure out where it is.
How did you forget? It was in the lake area.
This doesn't really help.
You know that lake area we
Hello,
were bombing last time?
Oddly distracted. Hello.
Hello. Actually, if you just like take the hypertube boost, like super booster, and just fly over the area, you'll find it.
No, it's not that. Is that it?
Yeah, the plan is to have hypertubes
I
that
found
like.
it. Now I remember.
Essentially, the plan is you should not have to touch the ground, or at least like go through have to like find your way through machines to get to the spawn point.
That's good idea. That's a good idea.
So I'm actually going to be moving the hypertube that's like placed at the where is it? You know the hypertube that's placed at the bottom of like the elevator.
Oh, it's a bit hard to reach, isn't it? Should like extend the entrance of that somewhere else.
I'm actually going to like remove half of it.
It is going to be a hard fall, but don't worry, I've got this all planned. Fall in water.
You know, it'll be fine.
Which in video game is perfectly safe to do.
What's the fastest way to where you're going? Oh, you're over there. So I'm going to take this one.
All right, let's see. What am I going to do with this? So I've got three.
There it is. Found it.
I've got 3 inputs. And hold on, I'm actually going to turn these off so that they don't use up resources.
Send. Did I place train tracks everywhere? I don't know if I did.
I'm going to let these fill up. Just
no, I just bombed that entire area. That's what I did. All right. Okay, cool. Whatever.
Bum, 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 bum. Also, one thing we didn't do is, I think I may have unlocked the stuff already, but we don't have a circuit board factory, but we've got a computer factory which uses circuit boards.
That's fair. That train station's gonna suck, by the way. It's too close.
Yeah,
unless
you're right.
You do like a 90 degree, unless you do a 90 degree angle,
I need to extend this one more thing. That's what I need to do.
I'm gonna hold on. Let me go to paint.
I built a load of train stations, so I know the angles perfectly. I'll do it right now.
I see. Let me do this as well.
I've figured out the angles.
Let me just like fix this entire area real quick, son.
It's there. It's there.
Something you forgot to do.
Oh, I did forget. The customizer does it, I think.
Well, if we're doing a nice looking factory. Ooh, hang on. Can I mass apply this? Can I like paint an entire thing?
Right, so this has got to connect here.
No, I mean I am using the customizer, but like I need to find a way to like mass paint. Is there a way to do that? Customize filter.
I wonder if there's a game that would fall damage despite hitting the water. I imagine that'd be tricky to code, but I imagine there is something like that does that.
Quick switch, close, hide, HUD. If I like control, if I shift, no, I can't fill. Okay, I have to do this manually then. Ugh, grim.
That's got to come up to here. That.
It doesn't take much to like build. I'm also like filling my inventory up with plates because of this. Oh well, whatever.
It goes there. Gets there. There we go. Those angles are pretty nice. I think I can get rid of some of these.
Those will work.
Yeah, in that brief solo world I had.
Oh, that's fine.
I built a load of things, and I'm gonna have this is gonna be the output area. I haven't got any things in it. I can add them later if I need them, but
fine. I'm gonna go underwater. I'm gonna go underneath the thing. Oh no! That's so annoying.
What? Oh yeah, if you touch water, you'd lose your tool. It's really annoying.
Okay, I'm gonna build a pillar under the water real quick so I can do it. Are you also doing it now, or is it
A
just
little
me?
bit, a little bit.
Yeah. Ooh, we got it, we got it, we got it. We're good, we're golden, we're huge, we're so back. That gives full damage despite hitting the water. There should be games that do that actually. Now
I
that I think
bet there
about
is
it.
a game, but how would you code it? Would it have to be like velocity based?
Yes, it would be velocity based. I think what would happen is there would be a velocity, there'd be a threshold filter for if a floor does damage, and water would just have like a higher velocity threshold. That's literally it.
Yeah,
Like
I
how in
guess,
Minecraft,
I guess that's
like how
pretty
in
simple.
Minecraft, if you fall four blocks, if you fall 4 blocks in Minecraft, you don't take any damage. It's going to be like something similar to that. And water will have a modified damage threshold thing. Because Minecraft does that already, so you could probably code it into Minecraft if you really wanted to get funky with it.
Oh, hold on. Now that we've got plastic, do you think we should start using coated concrete foundations? What do you mean no?
No.
What?
I am not repainting the entire base.
Yeah, but have you seen them?
I don't care how nice they look. We've built so much already.
They're shiny though.
Sun, I like it matte. I do like it matte instead of shiny.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, it looks better matte. Right,
Yes,
it looks better.
Yes, honey.
Less reflective. I'm gonna be honest. This interior, I am the interior decorator, right? That's what I'm saying. I'm also the exterior decorator now.
Funny thing happened. So I'm in the Discord for that Satisfactory Plus mod because I'm trying to like get updates on when it's coming out. Someone joins the Discord, and immediately, and he joins it on the Patreon, so he's got like early access type stuff. He joins it, asks for like, it was like, oh, how do I download this, and then people like, and then because it's kind of like early access, so they haven't like got it like made it easy of access yet. They're like, oh, okay, so you gotta download this and then move this file into here, and he's like that's really nice, except I don't know what you're talking about. And then they're like, oh, and he tries to make it simpler. He's like, too late. I've already unsubscribed from the Patreon, and then he leaves the Discord.
That's funny as fuck. That's so funny.
And then like
the
mods are like, okay.
He really lost to like the brainlet filter.
Really
that's
did.
so good.
Really did.
That's so good.
I want to extend this
Right.
like this.
Now that-
I don't
now
know
that-
where I'm taking. So I'm going to delete this. I don't know why I'm going to take the
Okay.
train line. Like what angle I'm going to take out. I don't know because I don't know where the closest train is.
San,
Wow.
I'm going to tell you this. You're intersecting with something. We have to get rid of this.
I'm going to see. Yeah, I don't think I can go this far yet, so I'm going to have to stop it somewhere around here.
We'll do that. There's a dog hitting me. What the
I
hell?
probably will turn at some point here. I probably won't have it go down this road anyway. I'm not sure. Where's the closest railway?
I don't know. I'm gonna stop building railways though. Teehee.
Because where it is depends. All right, hold on. I haven't done my thing.
Oh.
I came in not to do train lines. I came in to do this. What should I do about this?
Oh, let
Trying
me
to figure out
fix
how
this up. Let me
to
fix
make this
up.
look pretty.
I'm trying to fix a thing up. Give me a sec. I'm doing the train line real quick because I have a cool way to make it look cool.
Just go good there.
That's
there.
too sharply. We do it 3 then. So I'm gonna have the train line go round the thing. Oh, that works. Huge. There we go.
All right.
We probably want to bring like a train line up here, if anything.
Right,
That's what we want to do, right? Let me see what you're doing. You're doing some. Oh, it's those things. Yeah, that makes sense.
Those things.
Yeah, the assemblers.
It's probably what I want to do. So I'm gonna have to. Maybe if I bring the furthest one up.
That could work.
This could work. Yeah, I think this is the way.
I'm gonna go back to building stuff. Is there a cannon over here that takes me anywhere, or is it not here?
I haven't built any cannons, so maybe not.
All right, I'm building a cannon. Then I'm building a cannon. I can build it here. This will be fine. This will just get us back. It's just to get us back to the base. That's all it is, right? Where's my hypertube? Where's my hypertube blueprint? Here it is. The big guy itself. 1, 2, 3.
Let's see, is this gonna work?
And exit. Huge. All right, hypertube cannon is built. I need to find like a place to connect it all over to. Oh, that's fine. We'll do that. Right. Okay. There's now a way back. That's quick.
Needs to be marked. Okay. I don't know. It's kind of clunky looking, but it does work. So
as long as it looks like it, as long as it's not clipping, I'm fine.
oh, hang on, that's too high up. I'm gonna bring this belt down.
Anyway, hypertube cannon works. It takes you all the way back to the
No, it's too low.
to the hub. Mr. Sun, there is a way back to the hub now.
Ah, wonderful. There we go. Now it's level. Sorry, I had trouble getting my elevators to be the right height. Why would I delete that? Okay, now I can turn these back on and let it go. Okay. Let's I'm gonna. No, let's get back to.
You'll see the cannon.
Oh, I see the cannon. So I'm gonna fill in this gap because I'm sure to fall down it.
That's fine. Are you gonna come back and help with
The decoration, yeah.
Yippee! Decoration time! I love decoration time.
Oh, from here I can probably see where the train line is for the future. I mean, oh, it looks like it's nowhere near. Oh, I almost crashed into the elevator.
Oh, well, that's yeah. I mean, it's a little fast, but you know, I think that's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty good because we'll probably, you know, if you want to go to the steam area, you can go from there if you really want to. I guess if you wanted to do that.
That's true. As long as it gets you to where you need to go, it's fine, I guess.
Oof. That,
Bless you.
damn it, I meant to hit the mute button, but the button didn't work. It's so over.
It's over. You sneeze. Just gotta.
He sneezes when he hits the ground.
That's true.
That's how I avoid the fall damage.
I can believe that. I can actually believe that.
Literally an airbender.
True. True.
Oh wow, I need to turn this heat blanket off. It's hot. It's too hot.
Got a heat spike. It is too hot today. It is too hot. It needs to cool
it's
down.
heating up. It's so crapidemic stuff.
Yeah, I don't like it. You need to stop that.
So yeah, it's definitely warming up. All right, let's see. Did we add conveyors to this area? We did not. How do I want to do this?
He wants to do something. He wants to do something.
Having it go through the machines might be the way. They're kind of high up.
What?
Actually,
no,
it would almost connect level with the other things because it's slightly lower. There's nothing to. Maybe having it go above here would work. I think it'd be interesting having it go through the machines like this. I'm gonna try that.
No, I don't think it will.
What one? You don't even know what it is.
The walkways.
What do you mean the walkways? Like, yeah, but you'll see. You'll see.
I will see and I will complain.
No, what's interesting? If you and Geltron had different automatic, I see. I really wish that. I remember I said that like the first episode. Like I thought like, we had like different cut schemes, but unfortunately it doesn't
not
exist.
shared. It's not shared.
It's really a shame.
No, it is shared. It is shared. Yeah. So
it's shared. It's a real shame. I think it would have been great if they were. Different.
It is a shame. I wish it wasn't. I wish it wasn't shared so we could do that. That'd be very cool.
It really would. It really would. It's a shame.
So hi Digby, hi. I don't know if Sun remembered to say hi to you, but I'm remembering. I'm saying hi.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible. Like I do this like
streamer fail.
Like I don't say hello to people. I don't like ask people their name. So like there'll be people like, oh, I've known for like ages and stuff, and I haven't got a clue what their name is.
That's fair.
It's very very silly. Also, I'm gonna have to move that. I'll move that power pole at some point.
That power pole's like strategically placed as well. Kind of annoying.
Yes.
Oh well, I'll live with it. I
just gotta move it like a tiny bit out of the way. That's all.
All right. Okay. Whatever.
Right. So I'll go agent like I don't know. someone's name, and then like it'll be kind of awkward because it's like I've seemingly known them for ages, and it's like, so what's your name?
You see the news recently?
Why? What's happening?
No, I'm doing an impression. You said so. I was like, oh, I know what I can say here. That could be funny, but no, I failed. It's over.
It's okay. It's okay.
Time to end it all.
We can't.
Honestly.
Not all of us are blessed with amazing comedic ability as I am.
No. Right. Okay. Let's. You.
Oh, the news? You mean the news, but the world finally seeing sense of submitting to my rule? If only. If only.
If only. True. If only. Anyway, no. The actual news. The actual news. Right.
Uh-oh, it's lagging.
Two Nintendo Directs coming up soon. Actually,
look,
that's the actual news.
Jesus,
double slot.
Oh, it's loaded. I had a bit of lag for a moment there.
Oh, whatever. Damn disappointment. Like, wow, yo, Jesus, you can just build things whenever. That's crazy.
Junction.
Actually, son, I haven't asked. Are you religious? Hold up, I have not asked this.
No, I'm not.
Makes sense because you've. Oh, you're not. Despite having read the Bible, interesting.
I think it's hilarious.
You've already done more. You've already done more work towards being a good Christian than average Christians do.
It's so true.
It's really funny.
I think I read so my reading of the entire Bible was for a few reasons.
Yes.
One is because like pretty much everything written in like the past 2,000 years was written by a Christian, so it's sort of like it's like context, you know. You're gonna have that. It's like prerequisite knowledge for like reading everything, right?
Yeah.
And the other reason was that in some way I kind of hoped that it would convert me. Like you hear these stories of people saying like, oh, I was like a serial killer, and then I read the Bible and I found Jesus. And it's like I was kind of hoping like that would happen to me, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, are you still a bit of a sinner then, son?
I became even less of a Christian having read the Bible.
That's really funny.
Like I'm convinced that if Christians actually read the Bible, there'd be no Christians left.
That's true. Also, Hypertube is done.
Again, another one? Where's this one going?
This one goes up to the hub.
Oh, I see. That's a good idea.
It's attached to the thing now.
Right. Let me go have a gander. Have a gander.
You can have a gander at my Hypertube. Yippee, yippee,
See,
yippee.
let's get in the first one. And see where's the second one. I can't see it at a glance, or I can, I think. Where's it? Where's the entrance?
Oh, I've fucked us.
What's happened?
Son, come take a look at this. My hubris in having it slightly off like grid has like come to kill me. It's over.
Hold on, I've done it. This can be solved, I think.
No. Look at it. It's like it's off grid by like 0.5.
Like that.
I don't like that.
Hold on. I've got a solution. Do we have rails?
We have half rails. We have full rails. We don't have half. That looks like shit.
Oh, darn, that does look bad.
Alright, I'm tearing it apart.
Alright, I think you just have to find somewhere connecting that.
I'm tearing it apart. I'm tearing it all apart.
No. You've done so much work.
Yeah.
Where did you start it? Which one is correct? Is it the one up there that's correct, or the one down here that's incorrect?
This entire area is incorrect. This entire network of like platforms is incorrect.
Let's see. He's reading the Arabian trilogy, the Abraham trilogy out of order. No, I read it in order. So first of all, the Bible, the first 5 books of the Bible are called the Torah, and those are the proper traditional like books of Moses. So there's your Jewish texts. And then I read the rest of the Old Testament. It's all Jewish text still. And then I read the New Testament. That's the Christian part. So I read that in order. I haven't read the Quran yet. The Quran comes afterwards. The Quran is like 4th century or something. So that's way afterwards. So I am reading it in order. An interesting thought I've had about the Abrahamic faith. If you take their holy texts as a series in chronological order, it starts with the God of Abraham declaring the Jews his chosen people, then getting progressively more sick of them as time goes on. Yes, that's exactly what happens, and I feel like you should read it in that way, because that's how it's written. If they didn't intend for you to read it in that way, they wouldn't have published it in that order.
Hello,
guys.
I gotta show you something. Can I show you something real quick?
What is
that was a lot of words, and none of it was in the Bible. It was about the Bible. None of it in the Bible.
Alright, what are we
It's just like,
looking
hold
at?
up, check this out. 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 You see, you watch this. Watch this.
Oh, you stopped midway?
You can stop midway and go back.
Oh, sorry, Galsman, I already knew this.
No, it's over. I'm killing myself. It's actually over.
I personally, like, I don't like it about the things, because it means you have to be actually going somewhere with the... You can't just, like, go in the tube and then just, like, let go of the keyboard. You have to be going somewhere. It's kind of annoying.
Bruh, it's over. Ooh. Actually over.
Hold on, Galsman. Could you solve this problem by having it split off from the walkway and then connect to a foundation and adjust it using a foundation, like a 1 meter foundation or something? No? Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll leave it to you. I'll leave it to you to figure out then.
There is no actual solution other than tearing the entire thing down and rebuilding it.
You give yourself so much work. Let's see, an interesting...
Well,
oh man, you could do one of this how it started versus how it's going with the Abrahamic faiths. Like, so in the Bible, the first like 90% of the Bible is the Old Testament. It's the main bulk of the Bible, and arguably it's not Christian. It's nothing to do with Christ. Christ hasn't been born yet. That happens only in the New Testament, which is really small. It's like 200 pages, whereas the whole Bible is like 1,600 pages. And the tone is very different. It's a very different religion. It's a religion for Jews, by Jews, only for Jews. Nothing to do with... There's no conversion. You don't convert. It just doesn't work that way. It is a very different kind of religion to Christianity. And it's all about, you know, things that, you know, technically be considered, you know... I probably can't say the words of the Bible on stream. You know, what's written in the Bible. But it's a very different religion. There is I think a 500-year time skip between the Old Testament and the New Testament.
Oh my god, it's like an anime. Holy shit.
It's literally like an anime. It's
Holy
literally like
shit.
an anime.
Wait, hang on. Talk about the Bible. I'm sleeping.
The
500
Book
years
of
skip.
Mormon.
So back.
I'll talk about the Book of Mormon in a bit. That's a funny story. But anyway, there's a 500-year time skip, and in it, everything changes. Everything changes. It's like when you watch like. I don't know. It's like when there's a time skip. It's like this is a completely different anime. Like everything has changed. Like their entire the entire culture of the Hebrews has completely changed in that 500-year time gap. It's completely different. And however, Jesus in it, he's kind of vague. He's a little bit vague, but he's also not vague. And he says like he's not discarding anything from the Old Testament. He's saying everything is still canon and stuff. Which the Christians don't like that, because they don't like the Old Testament.
Oh.
And
but
you know, I read it. Like,
Jesus says so.
You know, there's nowhere like look, if it wasn't considered canon, they wouldn't even publish it as part of the Bible. You know, because why would they bother? You know, clearly it is important. Do you know there's animal sacrifice in the Bible? Do you know that?
Yes.
And not only is animal sacrifice in the Bible, it's prescribed. There's an entire book that details exactly how to do it, for what reasons, in what amounts. There is human sacrifice, but much less. It's sort of like very... the Greeks do a similar thing. The Greeks do a similar thing where... Okay, complete side tangent. I've made this rant before, but in...
He's repeating
in the history of societies, there is a trend. There is a trend where they have sacrifice. They have this sort of notion of the gods, and they have to make offerings to the gods. And it starts out often, and it's not like exclusive like this. It starts out with human and or animal sacrifice, and sometimes it's both. And human sacrifice is like generally the more barbaric form, you know.
Yeah.
But it's also considered like the more. It's sort of like, you know, have I made the rant to you like sort of like crackpot theory of the point of sacrifice? It's like
no.
It's like here's how it goes. I think I have, but it goes something like this. If you want to trade something with someone, if I want to, if I want a comic book you have, maybe I'll give you some money for it. I'll give you another comic book. We'll make a trade, equivalent exchange.
That makes sense.
I give you something you value, something I value. We shake hands. But then you have these gods, these figures who are in the sky and you can't see, and they're divine. They don't need food. They don't need water. They don't need warmth. They don't need money. But they can give you something that is also equally abstract. They can give you things like, good fortune. They can bring the rain about. They can give you success in war. This is what people ask the gods for. how do you bargain with something like that? It's so abstract, and so you have to boil down the meaning of trade and exchange to something more abstract. And so you simply give what is valuable to you, what is like inherently valuable. So you have your flock of cows, you give them the best cow, you give them the unblemished herd, and or if you have children, you don't give them a sick child, you don't give them a leper, a child who's diseased. That's worthless. You give them your firstborn, you give them a virgin, or you give them your firstborn son. Those are valuable, and that's how you bargain with the gods. It's a trade. And that's the idea between human and animal sacrifice. At least that's my crackpot theory. I haven't been able to find any literature on this, but I think it makes perfect sense. In some cultures, they viewed these sacrifices as messengers, so you're sending them to speak to the gods on your behalf. Yeah, stuff like it was very it wasn't like faith based. It was really kind of business faith based.
Business faith. It's like, well, the other thing I think they're missing. I think they're missing a key part. Is that like in transactions, at least this theory I think is missing a key part. Is that in transactions, there is a level of you are sending something of value to that person or entity, right?
Yeah.
What does my firstborn son have value for the god? Right, that is my question.
It's hard to say. I can't see any logic in it. However, there are numerous, you read these old texts and stuff, and they talk about the gods accepting the sacrifice, and it's always worded as like they really like the sacrifice. Like there was, I can't remember what it was from. I think it was from so at one point Zeus was really upset and he killed all the humans in kind of the same way as Noah's Ark happened. He flooded the world.
Average Zeus behavior, really.
Yeah, he floods the world, and then like the gods are kind of just alone now. And then somehow, I can't remember how, humans appear again, and they start making sacrifices to the gods. And the gods at this point, they've been starved. They've been starved of sacrifice. And then there's a story, and this is written in like this is written in like an ancient Greek text, And the gods, they're like coke addicts for this sacrifice. They're all like, oh my god, we want this is so amazing, and they want more of this, and because they haven't had a sacrifice in like probably thousands of years. So they really like these sacrifices. And it's very so it's like whether it makes sense or not, they believed that the gods did like these sacrifices, so that's good enough for them, I guess.
Okay, I guess that's good enough.
And it's very, very interesting stuff. And here's a funny sort of like parallel to the modern world I always like to make. What is a wishing well?
Cool water feature. That's what.
And how does it work? How does it work? What's the ritual of the wishing well? What do you do?
You throw a coin in, you make a wish, but you're not to tell anyone the wish. That's the secret rule.
And how is that any different from human or animal sacrifice? You're making a sacrifice. You're sacrificing something that's valuable to you, a coin, in exchange for something valuable to you. You get your wish. It's like an abstract thing only basically divine power can give. And because it's just like a coin, you don't ask for like, oh, can I take over the world? You ask for like, have good, make sure I don't trip over and die or something.
Okay. First off, you can wish for evil things in a wishing well. You can do that.
Not evil. I mean, big things. Big things. It has to be somewhat commensurate with a simple coin. It's not like
the more important thing is that it's like inherently understood that wishing wells are magical. That's
exactly. I think it's a carryover from pagans. I think that's what it is.
It probably is, but like the differences with the gods thing is that like gods are like they have intent. They have a 401k, right? They have jobs.
yeah. Right. What's it called? The Irish. There's a lot of symbolism, religious symbolism with wells in Ireland, and where a lot of like ancient temples and springs and stuff are said to have sprung from a well. A well magically appeared, out of the ground, and it was sacred to this god. And there's a lot of religious symbolism with wells in Ireland, and I suspect it's the same thing in a lot of cultures because it's a source of water. It's a source of fresh water, I guess.
Yeah, that's the other thing that you think of, like when it comes to wells, that like they are a source of like nutrients to the human body, and therefore,
lacking,
of course, you would
lacking the knowledge we have today of how wells actually function. They're kind of magical, don't you think? Like it's like what fresh, drinkable water that just comes out of the ground, like and it's seemingly endless. It just keeps refilling itself. It's clearly from the gods. Yeah, I love the like trying to think in like the mind of like a primitive person who's not stupid, but simply lacks modern knowledge of science, because it makes a lot more sense. Like, I think I've told you about the sun before, right? How the sun is a god. Maybe.
So
I'll tell you again.
Are you calling yourself a god is the big question here. Are you calling yourself a god here? Mr. Sun, what are you up to?
So what is the sun? What is the sun? It's this big ball of fire. It flies in the sky. It's so bright that and it's almost got this like this menacingness to it where if you look at it, you will be punished. You can't even look at it, you'll be blinded. It's like a punishment from the gods if you're not worthy to look at like the face of God, and like that's like in the Bible even, and the sun is like basically that. It's like you'll be punished if you look at it by blindness. It's like how the hell does it blind you? It's like it's to ancient man, like this is not obviously a thing from the gods. But what does it do? It the sun brings daylight and it scares away all the predators and monsters of the dark. So it's like clearly it's on your side. It's clearly on your side. But it does even more than that. It brings warmth, which is how you don't die from the sun, from the winter.
Grows the food.
It makes It makes plants grow. It's and then just above all that, it's this big giant glowing orb in the sky. Like it's the embodiment of Plato's idea of perfection. It's literally a god. It's literally a big, powerful god. If you imagine like cast away all your knowledge of modern science. But don't make yourself a moron. Don't think you're just like a caveman. But think, you're still intelligent as a human being. You have to reason this. What other conclusion could you possibly come for what the sun is? It couldn't be anything else other than a god.
Possible.
And then the same thing for things like there's a reason why all the like old gods and stuff, they're all why is Zeus angry? Why does Zeus have a temper? Because he's thunder and lightning. That's what he is. He is literally thunder and lightning.
Yes, I guess.
Like he holds the lightning bolt. When lightning strikes with the thunderstorm, like it feels like the sky is angry. It makes perfect sense.
Yes.
It's the exact same. The god of the Bible is a thunder god. He smites people. He's literally a thunderbolt, and he's angry. He has a temper.
Well, he's not
in the Bible.
Really? Wait, no, hang on. Whoa, this is new Bible law. New Bible law drop.
Yeah, he literally strikes people with lightning. There's what's it called? And in the when the Jews are going through the desert with Moses, they also furthermore he brings water. He brings the rain, which is also what storms do.
Oh, that's also true.
When they're going through the desert, whenever God is present, whenever he's in the temple, there's a storm cloud above it. And there's a bit where I forget who it is. Someone accidentally touches the Ark of the Covenant, and instantly God strikes him down with lightning.
Oh, what the fuck? That's kind of mean.
It's especially mean because the guy touched it accidentally. He tripped and accidentally touched it, and God just killed him on the spot.
Wow. Okay. Maybe
He's a storm god.
Asshole.
He's a storm god. That's what he is. He's the one. How does he kill all humans on Earth? How does he do it? He floods the Earth with a storm.
True. True.
And Zeus is the same. Zeus also floods the god. These are basically the same gods. And I think the reason, I think the secular logic behind the creation of the gods and stuff is that humans imagined them. They saw nature, and they reasoned what it is. They saw the power of nature. You ever watch a video of a volcano and stuff? Like the amount of power in a volcano, even today, is awe-inspiring with all the power we have. It destroys. How hard do you think it would be to blow up a mountain? If we put how much dynamite do we need to put in a mountain to blow it up? It's more than we have on the planet.
Well, no. With our current weapons tech, it would not be hard to blow up a mountain, son.
I've seen the numbers. I've watched the video essays. I've seen the numbers. The amount that just an average volcano gives out is more than 1,000 times the amount of nukes we have on the planet.
No, it isn't. Have you seen how big the Tsar Bomba was? That shit was huge.
It pales in comparisons to what nature can do.
Doesn't. I'm gonna be honest. The Tsar Bomba does not pale in comparison.
Digby, save me here, Digby.
I'm sorry. Our current weapons tech is well above that. I'm sorry, son.
No,
Digby will agree with me. Digby will agree with me.
I know, he's going to agree with me. He's going to agree with me. Digby, you are the arbiter here. You will decide for us.
He will agree with me, inshallah. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, speaking of, do you, okay, Digby,
Okay.
how does a modern nuclear arsenal compare to volcanoes in terms of explosive power?
Yeah, exactly. Could a nuke blow up the top of a mountain?
See, I haven't looked at the numbers in ages, but I'm pretty sure that volcanoes are so much more powerful than all the nukes we have by like a considerable amount.
No. I think that's incorrect. I think that's like just flat out incorrect.
You see entire islands just get deleted from the face of the earth by a volcano in an instant. Like
they've done that with nukes. They've done that with nukes.
Not nearly as big.
He's wrong. Can't believe it. He's wrong. It's over. Right, Digby will agree with me, inshallah. I believe.
There's more a question of location. A volcano blows off the top of a mountain, courtesy of the pressure and the fact that it's coming from inside the mountain. Yeah, but could a nuke do that?
Yes.
I don't think it could.
100% blow off the top of a mountain.
I don't think we could. A nuke in the same location. Shut up, Digby. I no longer like you.
He's exactly. He knows. He's so right. He's exactly what I'm saying. Because the thing is about a volcano is it blows off the top of a mountain, right? So, and that's if the volcano explodes. If it's like an explosive volcano, not all volcanoes are like that. Some just seep lava. Exactly. The more devastating part about a volcano is like the tectonic movements that cause it. That's what the issue is there.
Well, earthquakes are another one. You know the god Poseidon. Here's a like somewhat interesting.
Tangent. Actually, wait a minute. Hold up. Never mind. A nuke could match a volcano. And an earthquake as well.
Here's an interesting sort of bit of trivia about Poseidon that is extremely relevant to the history of the Greeks. So, do you know what what's it called? What Poseidon's epithet is?
No.
So I'm guessing you don't know what epithet is, but it's not used in modern religions. In older religions, gods would be given their name and also like a title. So you'd have Zeus the Thunderer, Apollo the Far Shooter, Artemis, like I forget what her name is, and they have these
she was the Huntress, right? Artemis the Huntress.
I don't think that's her main one, but it's sort of like and some of them are kind of odd. Some of them, and many of them have like multiple, and sometimes their name, you get Pallas Athena, or Phobos Apollo, Phobos meaning fear, and he drives fear into people.
Phobos, that's a moon.
It is also a moon, and it's named after Apollo. Many of the planets. Spoiler: the planets are all names of Greek gods.
Okay, but big thing here. Bigger, more important thing. It's a moon you go to when you play Doom. You go to the moon of Phobos.
That's kind of funny. I wonder if that's intentional because Phobos means fear. Phobos means fear, like giving fear.
No, it's because Mars was the closest planet, and Phobos is one of its moons. That's literally it.
I see. Mars is the god of war.
Well, Mars is also the closest livable planet when you think about it. But if you with a bit of help, I'd say livable in the sense that it's not like you can't live there now.
I see.
But
so it was just random then. It's just it's close. They just fixed one. But anyway, and then some of them are kind of odd. For example, Dionysus, the god of wine, his epithet is the twice born. I forget it's in Greek. It's like Diogenesis or something. But his epithet is the twice born, which is kind of strange because he was I think he was born and then he was thrown into fire and then he was brought back to there's some weird mythological story to it. And some people have parallels with
just God things.
And some people make parallels between him and Jesus because of that. Because they both arrive late in the mythological cycle. They both go and form a cult of followers. They're both persecuted. And in a way, they're both twice born. Jesus dies when he comes back to life. It's almost like he's born again, so he's twice born. Also, it's kind of strange.
Digby's making a very good point.
Aren't most of the Greek gods technically twice? Okay, yeah, they're all technically twice born, maybe, but Dionysus gets the credit of being twice born a lot more than the others.
Unless you're going with the Macbeth's meaning of the word born, and then it's they're not twice born; they were C-sectioned. which is very different.
I'd have to read up on the story of Dionysus again. It's a weird one.
That's fair. That's fair. I thought you were going to say read up on the story of Macbeth again. I was like, have you read Macbeth?
But,
what? Huh? That's like English language 101.
I need to get around to like rereading Shakespeare stuff. I read it when I was like younger and like I didn't like it. And I probably like it now. But
no, you won't. it's kind of like incomprehensible babbling.
Like jetpack's not refilling. The lag is not refilling my jetpack. I'm grounded. I'm literally grounded.
Unless you like inconsequential babbling, and then maybe you will like it.
But what was it?
So, do you like inconsequential babbling?
The reason why I mention these epithets is because when you think of Poseidon, we think of Poseidon as the water god, right?
But he's a god of other things, though, isn't he?
I disconnected.
Connection issue.
But the main epithet of Poseidon is actually the Earth Shaker. He's a god of earthquakes.
I see.
You know, he has Poseidon. There's three sort of gods that control the earth. Poseidon, no, sorry, Zeus controls the skies.
Wrong button. Ignore that. Tee.
Okay,
got it. Right. Okay. So click that lightly.
Zeus controls the skies. That's his domain. Hades controls the underworld. Poseidon controls the land and the seas.
Hades controls the underworld. We all know what that really means.
It's hard to say. He's always been a chill dude. In literally every story I've read, he's never an antagonist of any kind. He's just kind of like whatever. Like
until Disney got their hands on.
I haven't watched the Disney movie. Is he a bad guy in that?
Yeah, they make him a bad guy in the Hercules movie.
That's kind of funny. In all like the actual Greek myths, he's just a total bro. He's a total bro.
He was like for like a long time he was themed as like in like the Disney movies and in Clash of the Titans he's themed as like the main antagonist.
Well, it makes sense.
Right?
He's like I guess he's the closest parallel you can think of. Like, you know, he's the god of the underworld. Like, you know, and Satan is also kind of the god of the underworld in a sort of way. Like, it's sort of...
So the Disney movies, like, they did the character dirty, as in like they made Hades look like a villain. But he's well acted and well voiced.
Oh, so cool. I don't doubt it. Those Disney movies back then have a very good reputation.
Oh, yeah, the Hercules movie. But, like, in Clash of the Titans, he's also the villain, and, like, other such...
I think it's modern. Modern thinking. It's modern thinking of, there's a good and then there's an evil. And in the old, you know, the Greeks, that didn't really exist. The gods were basically forces of nature. They were neither good nor bad. You know, in the Trojan War, you know, like. The Greeks are the aggressors against the Trojans. They invade Troy, and
that's true.
Troy did nothing wrong. Like, you know, but we're forced to side with the Greeks, and then the gods themselves go to war with each other over who's to support who, and it's just sort of things weren't so black and white back then. It was the Christians and the sort of that brought in the black and whiteness.
There is one depiction of Hades as of recent that's very accurate to how he actually is, and that's the depiction in the Hades game. If you've ever played it.
I've seen Olga play it, but over a year ago now. I don't know if she still plays it.
Over a year ago. Oh, brother. It's an old game, to be fair. But,
it looks like a really fun game, but I don't like the characters sometimes.
It's the story of... Basically, it follows the story of Zagreus' escape from the underworld, right? That's what it follows. And... Hades, instead of being like
he's like the final boss, son of Orpheus or something. Yeah, I can't remember.
Zagreus is the son of Hades.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
it's his. I can't remember
like
the significance of. There's a connection between Orpheus, the musician, and the underworld, and I don't know exactly. Like, there's a lot of it's because Orphic. If something is Orphic, it relates to the underworld.
That's because his muse is in the underworld. Teehee.
Oh, you're right. He goes to the underworld. It's like what was her name? Eurydice or Eurydice? Eurydice. Name.
She's actually in that game. They're actually both in that game. Orpheus and her are both in the game.
Is he doing well? Yeah. Is he doing well?
He got court musician in Hades's court.
You know, that's good. Do you know how the story? Do you know how the story of Orpheus and Eurydice goes?
Nope.
So
no.
So Eurydice, like his girlfriend or whatever, she dies. She goes to the underworld.
Yes.
And Orpheus is like, I'm getting her back. I'm getting her back. And so he makes a deal. He makes a deal to go to the underworld, and he's told that so long as he doesn't look at her while he's taking her back from the underworld, she'll be able to come back. And so he finds her. He carries her back, and he doesn't turn his back. You know, and like they're talking, and then he suspects. He thinks, what if this is a trick? What if she's not actually there? I'm being tricked. And so he looks back, and then she's
no.
dragged back to the underworld, and then how that
He's
story
awesome.
ends, it varies. There's various endings of how that story ends. I think the canonical one is that he kills himself.
Yeah.
But there's other versions where, in other words, he attempts to go back again, and the god's like, no, you were given one chance, you can't do that, and so the gods kill him, and so the gods kill him, they punish him. And I think there's like another one where I think I think the other one is just he just like moves on or something.
I see. Yeah. What happens is like well, the other thing is that like in the Hades game, Hades, like the god of death, essentially your in-game dad, right? He's literally your dad in game. He's like, no, Zagreus, you have to work like we all have to in the underworld, right? You know, he's basically like, no, you have to take up the big ledger and write down names of the souls, right? That's your job.
See, that's the thing I like about Hades and the character Hades, and also like people like who's the boat guy? He begins with a C, I think.
Charon. I love Charon.
Yeah.
Like Charon. Yeah, he's in the game
like,
as well. He's actually
in the actual Greek myths, they're just so like they just got a job to do, man. Like they got a very busy life, or not.
They have a day job.
They have a very busy afterlife, you know.
Exactly.
You know, it's
well,
like
the busy afterlife is caused by us, but
you know, it's like, and every now and then, like there's stories of like heroes and stuff going to the underworld. Like Odysseus goes to the underworld, Heracles goes to the underworld, Orpheus goes to the underworld. These characters, they frequently go to the underworld, and then like Hades just like, you're not supposed to be here. Why are you here? And they're like, oh, I just need to talk to this guy. And he's like, all right, you got 5 minutes, okay?
You got 5 minutes, but get out. We're on the clock here. He's like tapping his watch.
Yeah. And there was,
and so Hades is like a strict guy. He's a strict guy because he's on like a tight schedule. But eventually, in game, they were like, okay, you're now testing you're testing the underworld security now. That's your job. Fuck it. You have a job. You're now doing this.
So the character Heracles. If there's someone that Hades really doesn't like, it's Heracles. Do you know why?
Oh yeah, because he keeps getting away with it.
No,
he keeps getting away with it
because he killed his dog. He killed his dog.
Oh, that's true.
and Hades, like, this isn't canon. This isn't religious canon. It's a play by Aristophanes, who was like a satire player back in the ancient Greek days, and he writes a play where what's it called? Where the god Dionysus, the god of wine, is trying to get to the underworld because he needs to find the ancient poet, I think Euripides, who died like 100 years ago or something. He needs to find him because he's looking for a good poet for some reason. And so he goes to Heracles' house, because Heracles was, he went to the underworld before, he knows how to get there. So he goes to Heracles and says, Heracles, I need to get to the underworld. And Heracles is like, well, the quickest way is to jump off a cliff. You could try hanging yourself by a noose, that works also. Or you could just sit down and wait for a while and you'll die of starvation.
Damn.
Is that how do I get to the underworld? I haven't tried dying. But anyway, they end up getting to the underworld, and then to do it, he disguises himself as Heracles. He dresses up as Heracles to disguise him. For some reason, I can't remember the reason why. And he gets there. And then I think like there's one person there who does like Heracles, and so like this isn't Heracles, this is Dionysus dressed as Heracles. So they're like, oh hey, it's like this girl character who was having a crush on Heracles, and so like Dionysus, he's pretending to be Heracles. He's like, oh hey, yeah, you know what, you want to go to my room, but then as they're about to like go and like have some fun, I guess, Hades shows up, or I think like the guard of Hades, someone aligned to Hades shows up. It's like, Heracles, what the hell are you doing here? You know, you're a big troll showing your face around here again. And so he takes off the disguise. He's like, no, I'm not Heracles. Look, I'm this other guy. You know, he's like, oh, okay.
Dionysus.
You know, yeah. and then they do this back and forth where he keeps taking off the disguise, putting the disguise back on. It's like the two characters, the one who likes Heracles and the one who doesn't like Heracles, like keeps like showing up and going away, and it ends up like at one point like he gets like spanks and stuff with like a paddle. It's kind of funny. And
what? Huh? Son, what kind of Greek plays?
This is Aristophanes. I take it's Greek, it's classic Greek humor, very very sophisticated. They're reading this in private public schools, like.
Okay, whatever you say. I'm gonna choose to believe you.
And it's I can't remember how they end up finding like the poet, and like Hades just like whatever.
Just
Like,
go. Just leave.
Get out
Get
of here.
out of here.
Oh, it's like, it's so much more fun. This is why I like the Greek myths. It's just so much more, and the Greeks enjoyed this as well. You know, like there was an element of piousness, of course, but there was also like, what a fun pantheon! What a fun pantheon!
It is a fun pantheon. Like, we kind of got like screwed over with like modern day gods just being like one guy,
And they're so serious and so boring. Like I think part of the reason is because they're too powerful. They're too powerful. With the Greek gods, Zeus is the most powerful, but I forget where it was written. It was written in one of the stories, ancient Greek stories, where the other gods are talking amongst themselves about Zeus and how, you know, he's the most powerful god. And then they comment, they say, oh, but remember that one time when... And then they talk about like a time when all the gods did gang up on Zeus and tie him down and pin him down. You know, it's like, and then they sort of like say, yeah, you know, if we all team up, you know, he can't take us all on. And it's sort of like, he's powerful, but he's not unbelievably powerful.
All powerful.
You know? And even more, because there's just multiple gods, it's sort of like, you're not dealing with all the gods all at the same time, every time. You're dealing with one god, you know? You've only got to contend with one god. And you read in the Iliad, the big, you know, the Trojan War, there's times when, like, the gods come down and, like, these heroes, they fight with the gods. Like, and then the gods, like, kind of run away. And, like, it's sort of like... And I think that does a lot to make the gods less fearful. You know, you should fear the gods, that's what the Greeks believe, but like it's not in the same way that people fear the Abrahamic god. The Abrahamic god
is like all powerful,
he created
all-knowing,
everything. Like, he created the entire
he's
like
the
universe.
guy.
He's this vengeful god. Like
guy.
you have to worship him. You have to like, you know, like just gonna smite you down. And then furthermore, the later sort of theologians and stuff, they went even further and they made him even more abstract. He becomes the embodiment of perfection itself. You know, the very definition of perfection. You become intimidated by this god, you know, this feeling you can't even look at the god. You'll be murdered if you even dare to look at them or even say that. You can't even say their name, you know. It's forbidden to even say his name.
Damn, what the hell?
You know, the word Yahweh, the word El, the word Baal, the word Jehovah, these all mean the same word. They don't mean, they're not a name at all. They mean Lord. They're a title. You know, they mean like the Holy One and stuff. I think Allah is the same thing. That's not a name, it means Lord.
Yeah.
You know? Because people, you can't even say their name. It's like they're that fearful of him, and that he's that because he's that powerful. And the Greek gods don't have that. They're powerful enough that people do fear the gods, but not so fearful that they can't write a funny play about him. You ever stop to consider how odd it is that there's two missionary faiths in human history and they've both derived from the god of Abraham? Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
I got a question.
Abraham was a mistake.
What is a missionary faith?
It's like someone who goes to convert people. It's like they're on a mission.
What is a missionary? What is a missionary faith?
It's where they believe that that's the point of their religion. That their duty is to go and like convert people. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Okay, I think I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's something like that.
Also,
for example,
come take a look at
the Jews are not a missionary faith. You know, you don't see Jews going. Where are you? You don't see Jews going around converting people. Like they don't care about that. You know, but you do see the Christians and the Muslims doing it. Admittedly, they do it in slightly different ways, but they're both looking for converts.
Well, they used to do it in pretty similar ways when you think about it. Right, I'm gonna be honest. The Christians aren't completely in. You know, they used to. You know.
Well,
I think that's more like
they have good intentions. Okay, they have good intentions. They're looking to save you. They've got your best interests at heart. And so long as you do, and if your family also agrees with that, then they can come along. If not, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but
what if I like men? There's the kicker.
Well, there are
men?
other methods of salvation, just not in this world, but perhaps in the other world. Oh dear. I
just start worshiping Greek gods. That's what I do. That's what you do.
So much more fun. There's so much more fun. One thing, it's difficult to that the religious part of it was a bit secretive. It was they had a lot of like cults and stuff. All the gods, you know, they would be you would worship them as part of the public government and stuff. Would they'd say, okay, we're doing this festival and everyone's worshiping this god. But they also had their cults. You know, there would be
like more devout followers.
Yeah, exactly. So the most notable ones are the god of Aphrodite, the god of beauty, basically the female god.
Sex cult.
Yeah, the sex cult. And that actually, there's an interesting thing about that. See, when we think about the age of the gods, when we think about their family tree, we typically think, okay, there's Zeus, and then he had children, and he's the father. They often call him the
He's
father.
Not Aphrodite. I've actually looked into this one. I know Aphrodite is actually more of Zeus's sister than Zeus's daughter.
I think she's actually older than Zeus.
Yes.
Do you know who her father is? Technically,
Kronos.
Older.
Ooh. Okay, then I don't know.
Her father, I think, is actually Uranus. Uranus.
Okay. Also, come take a look at the walkways from above. It looks really nice from up here. Come take a look, son.
Let's go have a gander.
There's one I'm missing. I'm gonna go fix it while you go up and look.
He had his balls cut off and thrown into the ocean, and that's how Aphrodite was born, from a much, much older god than I think even Kronos.
Zeus is the youngest god? No, Zeus is definitely not the youngest god.
He's not the youngest god, no. But he is, in the grand scheme of things, he's younger than Kronos. Kronos was his father, and Kronos also had parents, and, he's younger in that sense. He didn't create the world. This looks good. This looks neat. It really adds a lot.
It does. It makes it look really these factories look really nice. I like how they look from above.
They do. Goal. Yeah, but it's interesting because and this is part of the reason why Aphrodite has this kind of cult status, because not only is she older, but she's also older in the actual human history era. The god that is largely agreed to predate her is Ishtar, the Babylonian god, who's also the female god, and she's got a reputation, Often these cults of Aphrodite are more well known as the cult of Ishtar, and these prolonged even into the times of the Roman era. And it's sort of like a lot of emperors and stuff, when archaeologists dig up their palaces and stuff, they would find these secret chapels dedicated to Ishtar and stuff, and it's very Illuminati-esque. As I recall, the majority of the Greek gods are born from the same pairing. They are, with Kronos devouring each of them in turn until Zeus was born and beat their father, freeing his elder siblings from Kronos' stomach. Yes, that's exactly right. They were all born. Sense. Zeus was the only one who managed to. I think the mother, whoever the mother was called, I forget her name. She hid Zeus until he grew up and saved the rest, and that's how their story goes.
Yeah. And he escaped from the stomach of Kronos. He escaped with Hades and Poseidon.
I guess that means technically Zeus is the youngest, but I suspect it also means that the others probably weren't growing while in the stomach. I assume he's the youngest of his brothers.
That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
But he's not the youngest god by far, because there's a bunch. Because a large chunk of the pantheon are just his kids, just straight up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Dionysus has another interesting reputation for being a cult character. So he's the god of
the
wine.
Party god.
But he's also the god of madness and insanity. Which is
that's great.
Which in a way is kind of what alcohol does. It drives you mad. It depends on how well you can hold your liquor, I guess. But it is interesting because he's also a very old god. He's the moment alcohol was discovered, so was the god of alcohol.
the theoretical god of alcohol, yes.
Exactly. So he's very old. However, alcohol does not go well with civilization. The moment once time becomes civilized, alcohol becomes this shunned thing that you don't want to talk about, and so Dionysus was not worshipped for a long time. He was, he was banned. He was basically banned in Greek society. However, after a while, Greek they kind of came around to the idea of drinking, and they end up developing their reputation for being party animals. And then Dionysus reemerges.
This alcohol's kind of good. That's basically what they said.
Yeah, pretty much. But he had always been there. But he was, hidden. He was the prohibition era of Greeks and their gods.
It's kind of insane to think about that's the case, though.
And so he has this this sort of cult personality, this mystery cult. Where it's sort of it was secret. You couldn't tell people about it. There's a famous villa in Pompeii, a Roman place called the Villa of the Mysteries, where there's a room in it and on it is painted these really well drawn frescoes of a Dionysian ritual. You know, where like there's like people, they're doing things, and like people, you know, archaeologists stuff, no one can really figure out what exactly they're doing. It depicts like some ritual for this mystery cult of how they worship Dionysus.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like it's all shrouded in mystery, and they've got the Villa of the Mysteries. An interesting opposite can be seen in Egypt, where they viewed it proper for all the gods to be worshipped, regardless of their position of the pantheon. Even Set, which one's Set? Who was at the time they're equivalent to the devil. I see. A Set like the god of destruction or something. I think I might have heard that. I think I might have heard
Set
that from Helsing.
God. That makes sense.
I know very little about the Egyptian pantheon.
Yeah, who was Set? Let me take a look at this. I know something about Horus is the god of death.
What I know about the Egyptian pantheon is that they're a lot more cycle focused. I think, where every day their gods are born, and at the end of the day their gods are dying. Throughout the day, that they have the whole story take place or something.
Oh, Set is a god of destruction.
I was right.
Yeah.
Set domains were numerous. He was god of disasters, treachery, strife, and foreigners. Whoa, dude, we're getting political. it's like yes, all these things, disasters, treachery, strife.
That's literally
foreigners.
That's literally what it says on Wikipedia, son. I'm gonna be real. He's pulling that straight from Wikipedia. You can't even claim it. You can say it's not even my opinion.
It's funny. There's a interesting parallel between that and Hermes or Mercury, whichever one you prefer. The same god, just Greek and Roman names.
I think the Greek names. Okay, big hot take here. I think the Greek names are way cooler. I'm sorry.
I'm torn. Like sometimes I like the Greek names. I think the Roman name for Apollo is a lot better than the Greek name, but it's a joke there. They're both the same name. Apollo is Apollo in both Greek and Roman.
Okay. All right, mister.
Very dramatically with the review of foreigners in Egyptian society. I imagine that Egypt, for a lot of its history, was a sort of mercantile country. They did a lot of trade. They had the whole Nile and everything. So they were a lot more international than a lot. So it's no wonder that a major god of theirs probably had a lot to say on that. It was also considered appropriate for foreigners to observe worship instead. That was the case for a lot of religions. In fact, that's a big problem with the Christians, is that they weren't. They were basically not following the law by not participating in the public government religion. You know, like it's like look, we're doing a festival here. You've got to give your sacrifice. Well, where's your sacrifice? You know, or a big one was in the military. If you was in the military, you know, before you went out on your chore duty, you had to pour a libation to the gods and say a prayer and stuff. The Christians wouldn't do this, so they were like. It was almost like they were draft dodging. That was a big problem that the Christians had, that they wouldn't worship what was the required law. But what was I going to say? But it's more like foreigners were expected to, not Egyptians. Foreigners would comprise a good chunk of the priesthood. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't actually know that. That's interesting. That's sort of see, when we think of today, countries are so big and so stable that we largely don't need foreigners anymore, you know. But in the past, foreigners were essential.
Son, wait, what?
Well, I mean, like we wouldn't collapse if we were isolationists, but you couldn't be isolationists in the past because you needed farmers, you know, and people. There were the migrant farmers. They would go around the countries as the seasons follow, and that was how a lot of society operated. But also traders. You needed traders, and traders were, you know, kind of like freelancers. They would, you know, get their wares, go from country to country with their wares, and that's how a lot of things worked. And it's different today. Today it's sort of like people, you know, you can go your whole life with never seeing anyone outside your own country. It's more like foreigners. I think we already said that. And so it's no wonder that there's gods of it. I was going to mention Hermes. Hermes is he's an interesting god.
Hermes is cool.
So
I like Hermes.
The name Hermes comes from, it means a pile of rocks. That's what a Hermes is. That's what a Hermes.
That's really funny based on Hermes' act, because that's where hermit comes from. I get it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you see, that makes
That's
sense because, like, of course, hermit will go. That's fun.
It's but today we have signposts everywhere that tell you where to go. in the past, they had a pile of rocks that would tell
pile
you
of
where to go.
rocks.
It was a
Oh,
landmark.
that
It was a
makes
landmark,
sense.
and they were called herms. And so they would worship these pile of rocks because I guess you're not going to get lost. And they would worship, and eventually this became the god Hermes, who is the god of travelers and messengers and merchants.
That makes
All the
sense.
kinds of people would
And
need these. But interestingly, he's also the god of deception and disguises. He's whenever you read in these ancient Greek stories like the Iliad, the Odyssey, and stuff, the god who comes down disguised to tell people stuff, it's always Hermes. Sometimes it's Athena, but that's for wisdom and stuff.
Well, if he's coming down disguised to tell people stuff, he's delivering a message.
Yeah, he's delivering a message.
That's
He's
what
the
he's doing.
messenger of the gods also.
He also pulls double duty, and basically takes over a little bit of like Charon's job of helping deliver souls to the underworld.
Oh yeah, he does do that as well. He's I guess it's he's the traveller god. He's the Greek of travelling. You travel to the underworld.
He gets around a lot. Might as well take your soul while I'm here.
Exactly. It's so interesting. It's so much more interesting than
yeah.
Like you can't have these kinds of fun lore discussions with the Bible with Christians because it doesn't exist.
You can't.
There's
no.
nothing
there.
and
then there's nothing there, and if you do try to have fun discussions about it, they'll just be like, "That's a bit blasphemous."
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you mean blasphemous?
Although to be fair, they did have this in Greek society as well. Like we talk about it because we don't believe in it, but there was also the kind of thing where it's like if you talked about the gods in the wrong way, like you theorize them in like the wrong way, it's like they're like, it's kind of blasphemy, pal.
okay, but we're not theorizing Hermes as a messenger, as like someone who delivers souls on double duty, right? No, that's literally what they said he did. So it's not even blasphemy.
But it's sort of like Plato got in, or technically Socrates, I guess, got into a lot of trouble for theorizing about the gods. You know, he would like what was the thing he said? It was something about like the nature of the gods, whether they care about humans or not. You know, where like someone's asking me, sort of like you know, like it was talking about like the nature of piety and stuff, and like, you know, do you do things like because like you love the gods, or like the gods love you because you do. It was a philosophical thing, and he probably got killed because of this.
He's dead now.
He got put to death for impiety. Inappropriate worship of the gods could get you in serious trouble in Egypt. A particular group was expelled from Egypt at one point. Okay. I thought you was making a joke about the other people who got kicked out of Egypt. That's kind of funny. But that's that. I mean, that
was kind of a similar reason. You know, they worshipped a different god.
I can't remember what was the technical reason why they got kicked out of Egypt.
They left. That's why.
Did they willingly leave?
They left because they were kept as slaves.
I vaguely remember reading the Bible where they're on their way out and the Pharaoh's letting them go.
I mean, I'm going off the Prince of Egypt here, by the way. I'm not going off of like any historical documents. I'm going off the movie. That's the most I know about that story.
What's it called? And at some point the Pharaoh's like, no, you get back here. And it's kind of vague as to why. They said, why did he suddenly get angry? And I've got a theory of why that is, and it's not so much a theory, it's more like this is what's written in the Bible. When they're leaving the Egyptians, Moses kind of tells them to go into all the houses of the Egyptians and take all the gold and silver and the jewelry and just take it with you. Just take what you can.
Really? That wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, that's probably why the Pharaoh wanted them back.
Oh, okay. I see.
Oh, it's funny.
Do this. I'm doing the ooh, hang on. Ooh, what the hell?
There's a lot of like explanations of the Great Flood myth because it's in a lot of cultures. Like there's a lot of, but specifically a lot of cultures around the Mediterranean.
You know what I think? They just had bad irrigation.
I think it's something like that as well. I think. Now I'm going to use the word climate change in the proper sense of the word here, not the way we use it today as kind of madness.
Big brain move. Hold on.
There are changes. For example, the Sahara Desert used to be a lush area. Now it's a desert. You know, Antarctica wasn't always covered in ice. Now it is. You know, there's sort of...
Okay. Antarctica kind of like that. If Antarctica was in that region of the world at all time, it would always be covered in ice.
No. There's trees under the ice.
Yeah, that's because the land came from somewhere else.
I don't
Like
know.
the land of Antarctica, that's because the land of Antarctica was originally Pangea and it like drifted, continentally drifted
I
down
don't
to
know.
the
But the point is, this is like
yeah.
I think the tree is like 5,000 years old or something. Like it's not as old as
Shit, real?
this. But I can't remember. Don't quote me on it. But the point is, over long periods of time, the world does change. The climate does change, and entire rivers can appear. Places that were once happy to walk on can now become underwater, and vice versa. Places can become hot, places can become cold. The climate does change. And sometimes this is caused by things like the Siberian traps, like that was a big thing. But other times it's just sort of natural. And one theory, and I think is that like there's like evidence that that at one point in the Mediterranean the sea levels, rose, and they rose fairly quickly. Not like super fast, but like over the course of a generation.
Yeah.
And then they receded again. And what I think is that, at some point you had a family, you had a whole city, a whole town, a whole civilization who lived in this valley area, and they had their farms there, they had their country there, and then the sea levels rose, and it just kept on rising. It just kept, and their town became engulfed by the ocean, and they had to move. And maybe, and then they would tell their children, yeah, we used to live here, but then the water flooded everything, and then they tell their children that, and then they tell their children, and then the story becomes mythologized, and instead of it becoming something that took 50 years to happen, it's something that happened instantly, and then they survive by getting in a boat and and it's Noah's Ark.
Getting a big boat, my beloved. I love big boat.
I love big boat.
So cool.
Speaking of big boat, have you heard of that Indiana Jones game?
I've heard of the Jones game.
And they got a big boat. They got a big boat, and I haven't played it. I saw a clip of it, and I thought I can't be bothered to watch this. They're doing the whole Nazi plotline again. So they got the big boat, and the Nazis have found it first, and they've put the Nazi flags on. I'm like, oh my god, I couldn't.
To be fair,
boring.
That's kind of like the main villain of all the Indiana Jones titles.
I know, but I think it is taking place in the past. I think I think they are the real Nazis. They're not like. They're not like, the Nazis have come back. They're not doing the Captain America thing. I'm
gonna be honest. It's taking place between the first and second movie.
Oh, okay, that does make more sense.
Yeah, no, it's taking place. It is like they are using it. They are using the Nazis, and like this is the German Nazi Party is what they are using as the villains. Which is
that's a bit better. And I guess there's also actually no, it's the Italians. The Italians. Have you heard of I think it's Nero's boats. Nero had these two barges, massive barges with like temples on them and everything built.
Mm-hmm.
And he had them like in this lake, and then they sunk. And it was known where they sunk for like over 1,000 years. They were never lost; they were just sunk. And then in the 1930s, Mussolini fished them up. He had the whole lake drained, and he fished them up, and he put them in a museum. And there were these huge barges, absolutely enormous, kind of like the Noah's Ark in this movie, this game.
Okay. Interesting.
Unfortunately, the timing was not very opportune. They didn't last in that museum for very long. They got bombed during the war, and they were wood, so they're gone today.
No!
They're gone today.
That's kind of funny, actually.
If we had only waited like maybe 10 more years, we could have dug those. We could have fished those boats up, and they would have still been in museums today. But such is the way. Here's a complete side tangent. I think
it's a little funny.
I think in like 100 years' time, maybe 200 years' time, the memory of World War II will have nothing to do with the loss of life, and everything to do with the ancient relics that were lost. Because of the bombings.
Possible.
Like there were so many like things. Like you read in like I'm reading like there's a whole book on history. It's like and then this thing here was once held by ancient Roman emperor, and then it was passed down to the Ottomans, and then it ended up in a museum in Italy until it was ultimately destroyed in World War II.
I think we are going to remember the mass loss of life, though. I think we will,
but only in the same way they remember like the loss of life. Genghis Khan. Like how he killed his people.
Well, possibly, but we
remember that more for like the fact that he like birthed a lot of people. That's like the bigger memory.
True, but the bigger thing about like the loss of life in the war is that it was like compared to Genghis Khan is that Genghis Khan took place like in the east essentially, not in the west, and that's why
maybe the memory of Genghis Khan's different in the east. I don't know
exactly, because if you look at something else that did happen in the west, if you look at the plague, the Black Death, if you look at that, we remember the deaths. We remember the deaths.
I guess although that is exclusively a plague, I guess. I think
That is
we
true,
might
but
we might also
still.
remember World War II for its technological innovations, how in cultural change, how
We will
you know,
remember.
like
Well, we remember the plague for the same reason. We remember for its
guess
like
so.
attempted medicinal.
We lost power, by the way.
advancements. No, that's because I'm doing something.
Oh, okay. You're fixing those
Cleaning up
power
this area,
lines.
take a look. Yeah, I'm cleaning up a little bit. But look,
I would have done them eventually. Eventually, another few more years.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe you anymore, Mr. Sun, on that one.
Nothing more permanent than a temporary fix.
Okay, but look, I've made a permanent fix. It's done. It's done.
Well, I was gonna say,
These walkways are done.
Ah.
Follow me, Mr. Sun. Follow me. Oh, what the freak? What's disconnected? How much is disconnected? Oh no, what have I disconnected and where?
The world in the 1930s is unrecognizable to the world in the 1950s. They are very
Okay,
World War II changed the world in so many ways. Like there were so many technological changes, so many cultural changes. Like people changed that time, and that's I think how we remember.
The plague did something similar. It did change a lot of things.
Which plague? Do you know how many plagues there have been throughout history?
Okay, the first Black Death. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one. When I talk about the Great Plague, I talk about that one. Teehee.
Yeah, there was a I don't know much about it, but apparently the Mesoamericans, whatever they're called, I can't pronounce their name. Apparently they had a really big plague, and that was that was why they were so easily defeated by the Spanish.
Well, it wasn't a big plague. It was just we had more resistant like bodies to bacterium. And what happened to the Mesoamericans is they didn't, because they didn't have city-states, really. They didn't have cities. They had, they had something close, but the issue with Mesoamerica, as, a civilization, is that it didn't have good farm animals. They didn't have cows or sheep or pigs. The closest they had were alpacas. Now, do you know how hard it is to farm alpacas, son?
I don't even know what an alpaca is.
They are a roaming mountain goat, essentially, right?
I see.
An alpaca, it's like a llama.
Oh, I see.
I think
I do now.
Yeah, you know what one is. And essentially, they're very hard to herd, right? Unlike sheep that are very easy to herd, they are very difficult to herd because they are more violent than sheep, right?
I see.
So, and that was the most farmable animal in Mesoamerica. But they couldn't make big cities like we could because we had access to all those cool things. Because, when you think about it, right, farming innovations in the West, right? Farming, how do we farm our fields very easily, son? How do we do it? How did we do it before we had tractors? How did we do it?
We prayed to the gods?
Horse! We had horses!
Oh, okay.
We had horses and cows and cattle that would pull the plows to farm the fields. They did not have that. No. We had that, right? How do you make clothes? How do you make large amounts of clothes, Mr. Sun? How did you make those before you had the way to spin cotton? How did you do that?
By hand.
By wool, by sheep. You had sheep to do it, son.
Course.
You had sheep to do it, Mr. Sun. You had a very easy to herd creature to make that food, to make that clothing for you. Right? There were many ways that we had the advantage in farming over Mesoamerica, and that's how our civilization bloomed, and theirs did not as much.
I love this that kind of thing where it's like a rational explanation of why things are the way they are. Why did Egypt fall as a nation? Why
fucking one river? They were basically fueled by a single river, man.
Exactly.
It was not that hard.
I've heard, I don't know too much about this, but I've heard that one explanation is that that river just wasn't really relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone else had boats at this point. They could travel. They didn't need to go through the Nile anymore, and so they didn't. I've heard that's an explanation.
That makes sense. But it's also you built your civilization in the middle of a fucking desert, duh.
Well, at the time, they were a very powerful nation.
They were true, but then you also built yourself in a big old desert.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, it's you're kind of asking for it. You're kind of asking for your civilization to collapse when you build it in a big sand pit. Because as much as I love big sand pits, it is not good for sustaining people, and in the slightest.
Oh, don't need.
Yeah, that's why I like. That's why those That's why civilization, unlike in Eurasia, has been so successful, and in Africa has been so successful because we have natural land bridges to bring where those animals are able to roam and essentially, while evolving to different like creatures, they were like a consistent force across the entire continents, right?
Mm-hmm.
But America didn't have that benefit, and that's why American civilizations pre-European colonization were much smaller. Like at most, you had like the Mayans. They were the biggest possible, and they were not doing as well as us. I'm gonna be real, because they just lacked the ability to farm like on the level that we had. Right? We were farming on industrial levels compared to them, and we weren't even industrial.
There's an artist I follow who's really into like the Mesoamerican type people, and he's interested in like their fashion, their architecture, like their language and stuff like that. And like he'll make art of it, like where he'll draw like a character with like like really authentic outfits and stuff, and like really authentic stuff. Except like I want.
Oh no! What am I about to hear? What am I about to hear?
No, I'm gonna find it. You'll find it.
What am I about to hear, Mr. Sun? Is it?
One moment.
Okay.
I'm gonna find an example because like if I just explain to you, you won't get it. Here we go. This is the art he makes.
Let's see. I threw a bomb. Whoops. Oh, whoopsie, my bad. Teehee. I see. That is a How do I put this, son? That is a furry.
Yeah, he's just like. But it gets worse than that. It gets worse than that.
Do not send me worse. That's all I ask.
I'm gonna send you worse.
Oh no, he's gonna send me worse. Chat, help me. Chat, save me. Chat, save me, please. Teehee, chat, save me. I wish for saving. I wish to be.
Yeah,
I wish to
but
be
like,
freed.
but like, if you look at like you can tell like this guy like he knows the architecture, he knows the fashion that they wear, he knows like the colors and like he's really into that. I'm pretty sure he's got like a PhD in it and stuff. But then he draws this.
What the son? That is a How do I put this? Is this?
I can't show it on stream. Yeah.
You can't show it on stream. No. I'm sighing. I'm sobbing internally as well. That's what I'm doing.
It's so amusing.
God damn.
Yeah, I kind of wish he was like more obsessed with the Greeks, because or the Romans.
You like the Greeks. You like the Greek. Wait, why do you wish he was obsessed with the Greeks? Hold up, I gotta ask the son.
Because one thing, the difficulty with the Greeks and the Romans is that they're all gone. They're gone. We don't they're not around anymore. And
well, it's not that they're not around anymore. It's that just we are them now.
I guess so. But it's like we don't like. It's hard to know. Like, what did they
Well,
like
the
what
Greeks
did
and
they
the
what did they
Romans,
like? We can find like things saying, oh, this is what they wore, and and they would wear these kinds of clothes, and their houses look like this. They had these kinds of ornaments, and they would have these kinds of flowers in their garden. And they would like and you have it all. It's all isolated. It's isolated.
I guess.
And so it's hard to like imagine it all as one cohesive aesthetic. Whereas what this guy's done, this artist, is he has made it one cohesive aesthetic. And aside from the artistic changes, you can almost sort of like feel like, oh, this is what their society may have looked like. I think that's kind of cool.
I mean, there's a lot of media out there about the Greeks and the Romans that does depict that.
That is true. That is true. They're always like. Very rarely is it like really like authentic. Like it's like usually like the women's hairstyles will be very modern hairstyles, or like they'll give the men the typical soldier gauntlets that never exist in reality. And
I mean, they were kind of cool, so I'm gonna give it a pass.
Well, they do it was cool. I give it a pass. But it's sort of like it's hard to imagine it all as one thing. Hard to imagine it.
I mean, I can imagine it. I can. It's like I think like the best depiction. Hold up, I think one of the best depictions. I'm going to point this out. There is a Doctor Who episode. David Tennant and
Oh, I need to rewatch that somewhere. I know the
right?
exact one. I know the exact one.
It was the one with Peter Capaldi in it. You know,
But
that
I like
that was a good one.
that little gag going on through that episode where like the boy character is like he very like flippantly is like, oh yes, praise be to the household gods, and like.
Yeah, it's a good gag. I like that gag.
And I wonder if like what if that actually happened. So in the Romans they did have household gods. They were called the Lares,
Yeah.
which means like small spirit. And they would have a little shrine in their house, and they would offer little prayers and incense to them, and they were just like that's just part of life. And
It was.
And I imagine
that's what they were doing.
And
They
I
got it
imagine
close.
that people live in their daily life, like sometimes like look, they got something going on, they can't like devote their whole attention to this, and like just make a quick prayer because they've got to make a prayer, whatever, and then just like go about their day, and it's sort of like I bet that was a thing. I bet that was a thing.
It was. It makes sense. It checks out. It feels like a realistic thing, and they got it like pretty accurate. But like you also like in that episode, you do see around like the marketplaces, you see around the houses, you see around a lot of like what it was like outside of just the military, because the Roman military gets like the Roman and Greek military gets focused on a lot. Like,
It really does. It really does.
Get focused on a lot because that's like where the cool action stuff happens, and people like the cool action stuff. But the day-to-day life, that wasn't focused on much. But I think that episode got it pretty accurate. So I'm at least like I'm of the opinion that we have seen like the depictions of it that do make sense.
I guess I should be happy that the Greeks and the Romans are very popular, so it's sort of like there is stuff, but it's sort of like. But it is still kind of difficult, it's still kind of difficult, and like, something like the Mesoamericans, I can't think of like many things, but they're not as nearly as popular.
The other thing about them, the other difference between the Mesoamericans and the Greeks and the Romans is that the Greeks and the Romans became us. Like the Greeks, they didn't quite fall; they just got absorbed by Rome. Like when you think about it, Rome just was like.
That's true. Like the Greeks, they weren't just killed off. They many of them became slaves to the Romans. Like if you was a Greek in Roman society and you was a Greek slave, if you was literate, and a lot of the Greeks were literate. You could
ascend through society and just become integrated. It became absorbed.
I was reading a story about a guy who was a Greek slave. He gets a job as a bookseller. Originally, he's a slave, and the owner owns like the bookstore. But then he gets his freedom. That was a popular thing. That was a popular thing that happened. When like an owner would die, it was like part of like the customary thing to do would be that you would free slaves in your will.
Yeah.
And that was just a thing, and like and that's how a lot of like free men appeared.
Exactly, and it's like at that point they just become part of society. They just like they get integrated. They're like, okay, you're now basically a Roman.
Exactly, and they would take on the name of like their master. Like they would take on like that kind of family name.
Exactly.
And then can I get the catwalk through here?
And like, but similar thing basically happened with the Romans. While Rome did fall, the Romans weren't killed off. They didn't just die. They're still around.
I guess, they left Rome because it wasn't. It wasn't logistically possible anymore. Like they didn't have like
Rome anymore.
Like I think a big thing was like I think at some point they lost Egypt. I think at some point, and that was that was where they got their grain from. And that's how like Rome like functioned a lot, and they lost all that and something like that.
But that,
the actual story.
But what happened essentially is like the Romans, they just became Italians.
Italia.
That's what happened. They're just Italians. They're no longer the Romans. They're just Italians now. They live in Italy. Like Venice is Venice. Venice becomes a city state. That's what happens.
That's true. Like
it becomes a loose collection of city states because the Roman Empire has fallen. That's what happens. And so the Romans are still around. They're just not called Romans anymore. They're called Venetians. They're called or Rome stays Rome's. They're called Rome. They're Romans, right? The ones in Rome stay Romans, but not the Romans we think of. But like it's like that's what happens. It's like it doesn't erase like what happened with Rome. It just
I want to see if a train can go under here.
They just move on. They just move on to a different society now, and that's what happens. Like if you look at the UK, specifically, like part of the UK is made up of like what would be Romans, like heritage, like by heritage and blood, but they're just not called that. They're just called they're like they were the Saxons, right? Right, and then the Normans invaded, and then it's the Anglo-Saxons. you've got the Anglo-Saxons, the Normans invaded, and it's like, oh, now the Normans are also a thing, you know?
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I guess it does make sense. It's sort of like
Yeah.
you can never really pinpoint like a clear like cut area where
Death.
Rome began
Yeah.
or Rome died. It's sort of like things just change. Things just change.
Yeah, like which is different to Mesoamerica because of how like our diseases at the time like spread throughout Mesoamerica, killing off like thousands, almost possibly millions, right? That did end their civilization almost like within such a short time frame that it is that you do have a case of yes, that was almost like it wasn't like I don't want to call it a genocide because it was like not intentional with the disease part of it. There was like intentional killing.
Hold on, I better check if this
I ain't gonna sugarcoat that.
Still
I'm not gonna sugarcoat that one, but like
still working.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat that one. That was, but like
Yes.
even like the diseases that wiped out so many of the native populations, it just happened. It was like an unfortunate, tragic event. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't like coordinated. It just happened.
All right, I've put conveyor belts on my computer factory. Where else don't we have conveyor belts?
We got them here. I'm gonna take a look at the computer factory. Hold up, I'm gonna take a look at it first.
Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah, I'll take a
basic,
look
but
at
it's sort of, I've got some conveyor belts going over the train, and the trains do fit underneath without clipping. I checked it. Let's see what's going on in the plastic area.
Yeah, come take a look at the plastic area. The plastic area is done.
Have you connected conveyor walkways between the two areas yet?
Yes. Well, no, there's no walkway. It's a hypertube. Remember?
I think you should have both. It's sort of a more of
possibly.
a aesthetic
I might.
connection.
I might pop both down. Also, I like how even though you're really high up, you can see the walkways that bleed over the areas.
It's good that they do
cool.
connect. It's good that they do connect.
All right, I'm falling down on top of you. Oh, you're already off there.
These
These hypertube cannons are pretty good. But yeah, that's why the difference between like Mesoamerica, that's the difference between it. Like why we have so much of Rome is because Rome still existed through oral history. Like we had people to tell those stories.
There's a lot of
those
places
books.
like there was like a lot of places like they were really like even though they were just like basically colonies of Rome really affected them in like a positive way. Like
Exactly.
culturally, that they remembered the Romans and like would LARP as the Romans, even after Rome was gone.
That was really
Like
funny.
there's one particularly
that is
notable one
kinda
is
funny.
Dacia, which doesn't
Dacia,
exist today.
ooh.
It's a place called Dacia in the Dacians, and they
Where
liked.
was it? Where was it about locationally? Give me an idea.
All right, you'll
So I
know
get- so I
you'll
just
know
get
one,
an
you'll
idea.
know once I give you its modern name.
Okay.
And they really liked the Romans because even though they went to war with the Romans and rebelled like 50 times, and the Romans kind of got sick of them.
That's average.
But the
that's
point is,
average,
but
like, Roman
but
colony behavior.
eventually, I guess they came around. The Stockholm syndrome kicked in, and they renamed themselves, and they called themselves Romania.
That's really funny. That's really funny. Oh my god, Romania. Of all the names they could have given themselves, they were like, oh, we're just Romania. We're just Roman now. Haha.
It's literally called Romania.
Yeah. That's funny. That's a funny event. That's a funny, like, little tidbit. I like that. But yeah, that's the other thing. It's like we had books from like we did have texts from the Romans. We had like oral history. We had Roman historical sites we could look over. Right. We had so much information from the Romans that we could just look over and like be like, oh, we learned from this. We learned from that. Same with the Greeks because the Greeks just got absorbed by Rome.
Romans ever do for us?
But that's how it worked. And like compared to the Mayans, for example, I'm going to use the Mayans as my primary.
If there's
example
one group of people who the Romans didn't benefit, it was the Jews.
that was no.
I don't think like they ever really got on.
No,
Like
it seems to be
all the other groups at the time, they were what's it called? Like their religions. There's a name for it. I think it's called like syncretism. I'm trying to bomb these plants. I think it's called syncretism, where like you'd go somewhere, like they would go to like Britain or something, and they would see like these British gods, and they'd be like, yeah, okay, it's probably just Zeus under a different name, whatever,
Yeah.
And they just kind of like assumed, like, and often Roman authors, I was reading, in like Caesar's book, he's talking about like their gods, and he says it's like, yes, and they worship Poseidon in this temple here, but he won't actually mention like their actual name, and the translator knows like he's talking about Wotan or whatever.
I mean, yeah, but like but of course the Jewish people
the Jews did not like that.
Worshipped the one. They worshipped one god, and they were like,
Yeah.
no, we have one guy. That's it. He does everything.
And they were very insistent that it was not the Roman god.
Yeah, they weren't even like oh, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, or whatever, right? They were like, no, it's this one guy, and that's his name,
exactly,
right?
And for like see, for the Jews, this was like life or death for them. This was like the entire meaning of life. For the Romans, hang on, Mike. Oh, I thought I crashed, but it's right. I'm
also rebuilding all the power lines so they don't clip.
Oh, if you like. But the
What do you mean if I like? I will.
But the what's it called? But the Romans, for the Romans, like, religion was of course very important, but it was also, it was just one part of society. Like you could argue that the worship of the emperor was probably more important.
That's true, yeah, because like you're meant to be
An interesting element is that the Romans viewed other gods as equally legitimate to their own due to the similarities, which is why the Druid curse made them the panic. I don't know the Druid curse. You have to tell me about that. But yeah, it's like they had they would go there and say this is the priestly class and this is what they do, and like they just kind of like acknowledged it, like they. Like, maybe the more intelligent ones among them were like, okay, they're probably worshipping a different god, but they largely like.
Yeah, they were similar enough. The pantheons had like different had multiple gods that were like of different roles, and they all did their thing.
Exactly. And in a way, I'd argue that in the hindsight of like today, like with like what I was saying earlier about like what the gods really are, how like basically humans create them, and like they're worshipping this force of nature. They were the same gods. They were
true.
just the same gods under a different name.
That is true. I agree.
You didn't need to raise that, by the way, unless you're doing it purely for aesthetics.
I'm raising it for aesthetics because it's a train bridge.
If you like it, I think because it's so high.
I made a mistake. Hold up.
You just gotta adjust it a little bit. But I think it needs supports if it's going to be this high. I think.
Okay, I'll make it one lower.
I think, frankly, even as high as I had it, I need supports. I've got these concrete pillars; they'll do perfectly.
Yeah, you could do this. You could support Max. I'm gonna
do this actually.
Okay, that's good enough. That's definitely good enough. Because if I put this train down, I should get a train out. Hold up, get a train out.
I wonder if this will work. I don't think this will look right. Let me try it.
It does. It did clear it. That's kind of good. It's a little lopsided, but it does.
It's deliberately lopsided. Let me try on the other side.
But also, the
I see what you mean by lopsided. I thought you meant it was like I'll fix it. Don't worry.
No. The other thing is like if you look at this, the train is basically in level with this pathway. I wanted like a bit more of clearance, if that's okay. Teehee.
Yeah, fix this one. This one goes here.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember the angle.
Oh, that's too that other pillar is too close, by the way.
To the train.
Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! It's gonna collide! It's gonna crash! It's gonna break everything! Oh no! It's too close. I don't like it.
Okay, that just doesn't look even. I'll leave it for now. I can't bother to figure it out for now. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I think we've run out of a conveyor belt, walkways to do. Let's go find an intersection because I want to show you how to do the intersections.
Let's do the intersections. We'll take the man cannon. We'll take the man cannon back to spawn, basically.
Yeah, go to hub and find an intersection. A nice clean one. That'll be easy to demonstrate, but it's not complicated at all.
Let's use the one with the station that we've got built.
Station we got built? Oh yeah, good idea.
Yeah, we have a station. Remember? Yeah, that's a good one. It's underneath the thing.
All right, that'll do.
I'll
read that. I'll read that in a second. I'm flying at the moment.
Yeah. The other thing I was saying about the Mayans is that we don't have that oral history nor that written history really, because that all got destroyed.
Yeah, that's a big trouble with a lot of like old history from these, like, because a lot of societies just simply they didn't write stuff down. It's just like it's not that they were stupid. They just didn't. They just hadn't had literature. They
didn't think to.
Yeah, exactly.
They had stories. They had stories, but they were like oral stories. They were told. They were like told around.
All right, what do we got? We got basically the Druids hold up on Angsley during the Roman occupation of Britain, causing shit on the mainland and fomenting resistance. So the Romans went there to fuck them up. The Roman troops landed, got caught up in what was basically a gigantic, violent, fiery human sacrifice. They won the day, but they took the whole thing badly, viewing it as a curse on Rome that Roman high society would freelance for years to come anytime something bad happened. That's kind of funny.
That's so funny. But we fucked with them using our bog magic. That's crazy.
But all right, here is So we'll start off with. So here's what you do on the train station. Where are you? Oh, so here's what you do. This is what you do in train stations. On the entrance to train stations, you put a block signal. On the exit to the train station, you put another block signal. That way, the train station is its own block. That way, you're not going to get crashes.
Hang on, wait. You put it on the wrong side.
No, it goes this way because you're right. I did put it on the wrong side. I forget that we're going this way. Yeah,
Mr. Sun, we're driving on the left of the road.
Going inwards. Going inwards.
Yeah, there's your block signal.
So yeah, going into it and going out to it.
Yeah, block signal. And the path signals go where?
So with the path signals, you put path signals on the entrances to the intersections. So there's 3 entrances.
And on the exits,
left.
you put block signals.
Wait, that's
right?
the wrong one. On the left. So from the outside going into to the intersection, you add path signals going going into it, and then from inside the thing going out of it, you add block signals.
I see.
And that's it. That's all you need to know. And then beyond that, it's just like occasionally along the route, you just break up. Yeah, put block signals just occasionally going along the route.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all. Let me try and get this right. There we go. And it's good that we have a computer factory, because I did this on my previous, my old solo world, and I didn't have a computer factory. And that was a really dumb idea.
Yeah, that sounds like a dumb idea. I'm going to be right back, by the way. I need to go...
Because they use one computer per block signal, which is really expensive. But so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to go around the rails and just add block signals everywhere. And that way the trains will never crash. But yeah, the trouble that the Romans had with the later Christians was basically a lot of impiety on like the Romans' point. I think the Japanese had the exact same problem, where the sort of Christian missionaries, like, they came here and then they just weren't, like, they were just causing religious troubles where they thought they were doing good, but the Japanese didn't like it. In some ways, I think that actually no, I can't bother to make this argument. I was gonna say about how, like, I think, like, the Christians, while the Christians impacted Rome also impacted the Christians, where a lot of what became Catholicism is probably just what was carried over from the Romans pagan religion. And they just kind of, like, changed it. Like, you see even like the really, like, surface level stuff, like the Roman augur, who was the guy who, like, looked up at the birds and stuff.
I'm back. Hi.
I was talking about how the Christians impacted Rome, but Rome also impacted Christians. Where the what's it called? Where even though Rome became Christian, in a way Christianity changed and became something new, and I think this is where Catholicism comes from. Where a lot of, like, things like rosaries and like, you know, the sort of the like a lot of the Christian stuff it's not in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. I think it came from the Romans.
Hey, son, if the train signal has like an X over it, like a cross with a circle, does it mean it's having an error, or does that mean it's fine? It's just closed.
If it has a flashing warning light, that's an error.
Okay, good, right.
Yeah, you'll know an error when you see it. The cross sign, yeah, right. The cross sign is just like that. That's closed because it's depending on the way it's facing. It doesn't mean anything.
See, okay.
Anyway, for the direction that the train will be going, so long as it's got a green light, it'll be all right.
I see. Okay. And, like, the train signal will become green. The train block will become green when it's it'll become a different color when it's part of its own block, right? Well,
when a train is in the block, it'll become red to stop other trains going.
No,
into block.
I mean, like, visually, the block becomes a different color.
It becomes a different color, and I sometimes wonder if it's random or if there's a pattern to the colors. It's like, oh, it's red.
No, I think
now
it's just. I think it's just. I
now
think
it's
it's
this
just.
color.
I
Now
think
it's
it's
this color.
I think it's just colors that don't follow the same color. I think it's just. It just has to.
Yeah,
be
I wonder.
different
I wonder
colours,
what the
so,
what's the algorithm? You know, what the what's the how do they decide?
I don't know.
Some colors are nicer than others. I think the purple ones are the nicest.
Oh, I like the. I got a grey one. I like that one.
This is how we have interesting lives, right?
True. I see. I see. Oh, what are we talking about? Okay. Also, I'm going to give you a heads up.
okay.
I do want to wrap up in an hour, if that's okay.
Oh, sure thing, sure thing. No worries. We've been
Okay,
finishing at
thank you.
10 pretty a few times now. I think I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, that's okay. All right.
Sort of. We did some good stuff today.
Make this block a bit longer.
Is that connected?
Trains have an acceleration time, which will slow down the factory, if I'm correct.
Yeah. The more significant is the docking time. I think it's 30 seconds.
Really? Oh, that's kind of brutal.
So you have to consider that. But depending on how much you've used trains in Factorio, you'll probably already know the maths required for calculating train throughput.
Nope.
But it's like you know the docking times and you know how much you can carry, how much it's going to carry, and then like how long it takes to do the transit.
Yeah, my brain just kind of just like was like, yeah, I don't care about this in Factorio. It just
Oh.
it just gave up. I was like, as long as I'm carrying enough, I don't care.
Yeah, in Factorio, the trains are really fast. They're a lot slower. Like you've driven around in trains on this, they're a lot slower. So it's sort of like, but I don't know. They carry a lot. They carry a lot. Like it's only once you're getting really big factories that it does become a problem. You start thinking like, oh, okay, I've got to have like 2 trains carrying this same lot, and
Path signal. I'm doing another whole ass intersection. I'm doing the 4-way intersection underneath the oil
It really is simple. It's like you know, it's path signals going into all the entrances and block signals going to all the exits.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's probably like more complicated like things you can do with this, but I don't care.
True. Like I don't actually know like the proper mechanics of what a path signal is actually doing, but like it's something to do with like reserving a block before it's got to the block or something. But
yes, that's what it's doing.
But it's like
specifically making it so nothing else goes on it when this is going to go on it. If there's something else on it, it stops.
Which is really handy for keeping the speed up through intersections, so they don't like slow down and it keeps things running smoothly. What else has been going on in a comic world? I've been once again theorizing my own like little story I've had in my head for ages. If you follow my Twitter, I showed you one of the art, the cute girl I drew.
You did show me that, and I commented on the eyes, being like, "Oh, that's the
they're very 70s or 80s even. I don't know.
They're very 80s. What was the franchise that I said it was?
You said Gundam. Yeah, it's sort of that kind
I said
of era.
Gundam, yeah.
The main inspiration is
Gundam
actually
eyes.
Rumiko Takahashi, the guy who makes Ranma, not Gundam, Inuyasha, Urusei Yatsura.
I see. I haven't watched Inuyasha.
I love Inuyasha. I need to watch more of that. It's very cute.
Have you not? Have you finished it?
No, I've been on episode 65 for about 4 years now. I just like it.
Son,
I just need to get around
he
to
hasn't
it.
Finished it.
I just
He hasn't even finished the anime he loves. Holy son, that's terrible. That's terrible.
I don't know. It's
you can't
weird.
be doing this, man.
It's very cute though. It's very cute though. But for like age now, like even though you're not like an artist or writer or anything, like I'm pretty sure everyone thinks of like stories in their heads, you know, like a little world they've got imagined up, and you know, and like how developed that is depends on how developed they want it to be. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like you was typing something now.
I am typing something. Sorry, I got a message from someone. I'm like telling him, oh, I can't respond right now. Sorry, teehee, my bad.
That's fair. Yeah, but it's like with all these things, it's sort of like we never actually like do anything with it. That tends to be sort of like the law of the universe.
The law of the universe is that I want food.
It's true. What have I eaten today? I ate more muffins today from Asda. I need to stop buying them.
The they're kind of yummy. They're kind of yummer. They're kind of
Yeah, like
yummers.
you get
pilled
12,
though, son. Think
12
about
of
it.
them for £1.50. Like, I just can't resist. So cheap.
They're yummers. It's so yummers pilled. Like, how can you say no?
Exactly. But the what was I say? What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I had this like idea, and I can like, and every now and then I sort of like think about like, oh, that would be like a good idea. That makes sense, and like like I think this through and develop it and stuff, and then sometimes what happens is like I'll get like a point where like I just can't figure it out. I've got like no ideas of how to make it work. And then one day I'll think of like a tiny thing. I'll think of like a really small thing that doesn't really seem that big, but then that will lead to like another idea. Then that'll lead to like another idea, and then like suddenly like I figure my way out of that hole. And I was like, this makes perfect sense now, and then it becomes interesting again.
I get you.
It would be really cool if I did make a comic of it. That would be really cool, but I'm very doubtful I'd ever do that. Because like the one thing I've noticed is like comic artists, like manga artists or whatever, what they do is they make comic. That's what they do. They're not playing video game. They're not well, I mean, they might play video game, but like they're not making plain illustrations. They're not making like
wait, hang on. Hang on. I gotta ask. Are we onto the part of the stream where Sun rants about the comic industry?
Almost.
Yippee! We've made it. Chat, we made it. Chat, we're so back.
But like they don't do anything else. Like their life is making comics because that's how much time it takes.
Yeah, I see.
You really have to like dedicate your life to it.
It does take a while. That is true.
And even more, they don't think about it. Like they don't think, I've got to go and make my comic. Oh, it's so much hard work. No, they just but before they've even thought about it, they just find themselves making comics in the same way how like I kind of draw normally. Like I don't think, I've got to go and draw. I've got to go and, like I draw. Like I just found myself drawing, and that's how they.
He does the doodling.
But it would be cool. It would be cool, if I did, because I think I've got it to. I think I'm getting my like little headcanon story to a point where like it's actually viable. I think like it's not cringe anymore.
You should. Well, so okay. Your story's always gonna be cringe to you, son. I'm sorry. I gotta tell you this now.
You're probably right.
I gotta like reveal this secret to you. It's always gonna be cringe. But if you could accept that it's gonna be cringe, you'll always be based. Let's put it that way.
The story is deliberately. It's a deliberately what do you call it? Lowbrow. It's deliberately lowbrow. It's like it's like comparable to Naruto in that kind of like thing, where it's like it's not trying to be some super fancy work of art. And but even then, like it's got to be like I got to feel it's decent enough that it's not just rubbish.
Double error hit. What the hell's with that error? That error is because it doesn't lead to another block. It doesn't lead to another block signal yet.
Oh, is it just if it's going off like if the rail just like ends, then you'll get like an error there. But it's like that doesn't really matter because the train's not going to go down there anyway.
I'm going around the world and placing down the stuff. I'm placing down like a bunch of path signals on like intersections I've met. Yeah.
Also, like occasionally you will have. Like you feel like you've done it right, and it doesn't look right, and then just like delete it and do it again. And sometimes like you might even have to like delete the intersection and redo that again because like maybe it's like one block that's like it's not properly aligned or something. Like that sometimes happens.
That's true. Right,
it's like they look connected, but they're not.
Yeah. No, I get you.
But speaking of sort of comics as like as a medium, I had a really like optimistic, positive thought the other day. So like one of the facets of comics, manga, is that comics are coloured and manga's not coloured, and I've mentioned how there's a lot of like artistic techniques that are in manga that are kind of designed with black and white in mind, and they don't have a colour counterpart. And then so I think like okay, whatever. Should we just go with black and white then? Like we've got all these techniques. Like it's sort of like we don't have those techniques for color.
But the rail just changed color, son. What are you doing?
I'm adding intersections, but I'm miles away from you. Am I? Oh no, we're actually closer together than we thought. Oh, I'm doing in sections here. We're closer together than we thought.
That's interesting. That's kind of interesting, actually. Hold up.
Right, I'm gonna leave this 4-way one to you because I think you had. I think.
Are you at Spaghetti Junction?
Yeah, I'll leave that to you. You know.
Spaghetti Junction's a pain in the ass. Spaghetti Junction's a weird one because I need to just like.
It's all yours, pal.
Spaghetti Junction's about the same. Like you know, you do it the same as a regular junction. You just put it on the outermost like intersections, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I'll leave it to you. So if it goes wrong, it's your intersection. You know better than I do.
That's true. All right, yeah, I did build it. It's my responsibility. We haven't finished laying rails, by the way. We need to continue doing that.
Yeah, we got to connect it to that computer factory at some point. I've got maybe some ideas of where to put the signals, but we'll figure it out.
Well, not just the computer factory. There's just a lot of sections we haven't done yet.
I suppose.
Like
so.
there's just rails missing. Are you remembering what side of the road we're on? The rails are on. Okay, right.
I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy.
He remembers. Chat. He remember.
But anyway, so I was thinking it's like you know, it's like, oh, do we just like do it in black and white? Do it in black and white. I think I should learn those black and white techniques, but there's also it's almost like a defeatist mindset, you know. Because
you should learn them.
I should learn them, but I shouldn't be happy with. I shouldn't be content with just them. You know, there's no. Also, this is a good way to check if these will collide, because if you do a color change rail and then like the other side of the rail changes as well, it's probably a sign that they're both connected when they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But I haven't had that here, even though these rails are quite close together, which is
I'm
good.
at Spaghetti Junction. I'm at Spaghetti Junction. I see what you've been building. Are those some block signals just outside Spaghetti Junction?
Probably, yeah.
You're putting them really close together. Holy moly.
You can put them as close. I'm putting them close together just because we have a lot of computers. We have a factory for them. But
okay. Well,
like it doesn't really matter. Like you could put them far apart. It's like the more you have, the tighter the traffic can be.
I see. Okay, I guess that makes sense. How many trains are we gonna have running around?
Probably none. We'll probably quit before we get there. No. Like,
we've gone pretty far. I think
we have. I know. I was sort of jesting and stuff, but like. I don't know, like, I doubt we'll use the full capacity of all this rail infrastructure. It would be nice if we did, but, like, I doubt it.
Yeah.
We'll have, like, 2 trains or something. But it's fun, I don't care. It's fun putting rails down. But what was I going to say, but, like, the reason why manga is black and white isn't because of those artistic things. Like, it does allow those artistic things they do, but that's not the reason why they do it. The reason manga is black and white, because it was cheaper. And I say was cheaper, and it is still cheaper, but it, you know, back in the day, you know, in like the 60s and the 70s, Japan wasn't super rich, you know. That was like the 80s or something, you know, like they were kind of poor after the war. They wouldn't have as good of a time. And I'm gonna get on a train and go back to the hub so I can go make rails elsewhere.
I see. Why are there a bunch of power lines put on this thing? Oh, well, whatever. Huh? Oh, that's because I put them there as, like, yeah, I put them there as signifiers, that's why.
You know.
That explains it. That was me. That was my doing.
But they had this limitation. They're told, okay, you're going to make your comic, it has to be black and white, we don't do colour. And so they just never really... So they then invented their artistic techniques to communicate, you know, their, like, emotions and movement and whatever, and they just did it in black and white. I think, had they had colour, they would have done it in colour.
Have I done this correctly?
Why am I stopping? Why have I got a warning signal? Okay.
I'm getting warnings as well.
What's happened? Conflicting signal sites. That's path, that's block.
Oh, do you have to put it on every single junction of Spaghetti Junction? Is that what I have to do?
What?
No, I can't be that, right?
Well, I'm getting greens path going signal. Towards your signals. Let me add blocks here. That might fix it in this part at least.
Path signal. No. Path signal at the exit. That's not what I want. I want a block signal at the exit. Right. Okay.
So that's a path.
Block signal at the start. That's why I fucked up the signals.
Block.
Path signal. Oh,
Screen
that's a path signal. Right. Okay. Path block. Right. Go down here. Block, path,
Hmm.
block, path, block, path. Something's going wrong with this.
Hmm. I'm gonna get on a train and come back to you. I don't think that the error there is because of yours, because it's so far away from it. I can't imagine it would conflict. But
Let me try.
actually, yeah, there's no errors there. It's only the intersection. I think it's just. I think we've got two separate issues. I'm gonna just sort of do it.
If I put a path there, hold up. That's a block. If I put a path. Path doesn't fix it. What if I do...
Right. Path on the entrance. Blocks on the exit.
Huh? Ooh, what the frick is happening, bro? What the heck? Oh, that's a block signal. Okay, right, cool. Whatever.
Alright, fixing... Wait. Why is that like that? Waiting... Oh, okay. Let me get on my train, see if this fixes it. I don't think it will, though. Elevator.
Yeah, anything down here? Nope, nothing here. Okay.
Is that gonna work? Yes, there we go. Okay. I fixed my one at least. I just deleted the signals and replaced them, and that seemed to work.
Okay, let me try that as well.
That's always the first thing to try. It's effectively turning it on and off again.
Yeah, I placed one of them before. I placed them in the wrong order as well.
We're doing the wrong order.
Well, I say wrong order. I placed them like wrong way round.
Oh yeah, you gotta be careful with that. they gotta be facing the right
signal.
way.
So path signal can go here. That's gonna have an error. That makes sense. That error makes sense. I don't blame it for that error. Path signal there.
Yeah, and if replacing the signals doesn't work, sometimes replacing the rails and the signals works. Just like rebuild the intersection.
That's kind of annoying.
It is, but sort of like it's you gotta go through the process of trying it. Because sometimes it's like the rails aren't actually connected.
Block signal time, right? Now time to place block signals, right? Hold up.
But yeah, if manga had been color, they would have invented techniques to communicate things in color, but they didn't.
True.
They didn't have color. Western comics, on the other hand, they were just shit from the beginning. And even though they had color, they didn't learn anything.
Yeah. Block signal. You've got one block signal. We've got two. We haven't got all the block signals.
And so it's not that.
Yet.
And so it's not that adding color makes things unexpressive. It's that inexpressive art is inexpressive. But arguably, color has the potential to be far more expressive than color. Like look at movies, for example.
Spaghetti Junction is broken. Cool.
What you could try doing if you is
fixing the whole ass junction. Yeah, that's what I could try doing.
Yeah, if you can connect it, like the easiest way is just to place down neat foundations and have the junction on its like isolated
neat
foundation.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you, son. You cannot get neat foundations with this junction. I'm sorry, that's just not happening.
Is it too much of a slope?
Yeah, too much of a slope. Too much of like a large thing. I'm gonna try and get neat build. A neater build then, right?
No, all right. My brother is offering me jam tarts.
Oh, that's kind of yummy.
Man, it is. I saw he bought them like a few days ago and I wasn't sure if he was going to eat them, so I guess I'll eat them. Jam tarts are nice. Jam tarts are nice.
He's tart maxing.
I haven't had jam tarts in years.
You not?
I actually don't buy
let's
them.
Move it from... I guess. Let's move it from here. Let's move it up here. Can we move it all the way up here? We can. Ooh. Okay, I'm removing all like the extra intersections. So there's only like one intersection on each end.
I see.
Be my solution. It's like that's gonna be my fix. It's gonna work, right? If I remove all the excess, I'll fix it.
I think what I should do, because I have been basically studying like comic art lately. Like I do these like experiments, you know, and I think that's something I should do because I feel like a lot of people they're not really doing that. They either a lot of people like they like manga, they just immediately go and make manga. They just drop comics entirely and say that's just there's nothing of any value there. It's worthless. Get rid of it, and they just go for black and white. And I think that's a defeatist. That's defeatist. You know, I think I should make a good synthesis of the two, where you get rid of the bad elements in both.
Block signal. Sorry, I'm thinking about block signals right now.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll be thinking about them soon as well, because I'm on a train at the moment.
Yeah, block signals are on the right side of the track every time.
I'm eating a chocolate bar.
Oh, that's why I fucked up all the sides. That makes sense, right? This block signal, we do path signal goes there. That's why I fucked up one of the. I was fucking up what side I was putting it on. Oh well, I've already replaced the rails at this point, so I'm just gonna continue with the replaced rails. Go and one more. Path signal. Ooh, what? Why is it?
What?
What the fuck have I done? What the fuck have I done?
What's going on?
I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm messing something up, but I don't know what it is.
He's cooked, bros. He's cooked.
I am cooked. I'm a little cooked. Right, so trains coming on the left side. They come into a path signal. Right, it goes up to here. It goes up to this block signal. Right, which means that this is a path signal. That's a path signal. That's two different colors. Right. That's two different colors. Okay, that's good. Right. Path signal goes new.
Oh, here's the worst thing known to man. Here's the absolute worst thing. I was reading about Spider-Man. I was reading about like the storylines that are going on in their comics, and and there's a what's it called? Do you know much about like the sort of like I think it Superior Spider-Man?
I don't know. Oh, I've noticed what's happening. The block signal is placing the wrong way round.
I see.
Like it's placing on the.
Hopefully, that's an easy fix then.
Well, you'd think so, but it's just not working for some reason.
Have you tried replacing the rails as well?
I have. It's just not placing right. I guess I just place it on the wrong side then. Fuck it. If it just wants me to do that.
But so there's this storyline. There's a storyline in Spider-Man where Dr. Octopus is he's dying, and then he does a brain switch with Peter Parker.
Yeah,
against his will, of course. He's an evil villain. And why is that an error? Hopefully that's just because I'm lacking a signal.
Block signal goes here. Path signal goes here.
Yeah. And then so Spider-Man's now in this like dying body, and Dr. Octopus has Spider-Man's body. Super evil villain and
it's
stuff.
Not working for some reason. I have no clue why.
Well, I'm coming around the desert now. We'll place some more signals. I'll reach you eventually.
Why is this not working?
They definitely can be frustrating.
This is frustrating because I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing and it's not working. And I hate it for that. Like, that's a path signal, that's a block signal, that's correct.
To be fair, you have got a complex situation.
I redid it so they're all attaching at the same point. Like, they're all part of the same intersection now, right? Let me travel along the lines. Hold up. So this is a path signal. So if we go like this, it goes up there. Goes over there. Goes over there. That's correct. Okay, let's try this side. Because for some reason this side is not working. Right. Here's a block. Here's a block signal, right? Here's a path. Goes from left to left, huge. This one goes from left to left, huge. This one goes from left to left. Huge, right. That's technically correct. It's just not working for some reason.
It's connected. But anyway, the so Doctor Octopus he mind switches with Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And then goes about doing his villainous ways and all that stuff, and then Peter Parker, who's in Doctor Octopus's body in like some hospital, dies.
Oh.
And then Doctor Octopus, who's now in Peter Parker's body, he's like got like access to his memories and stuff, and then he realizes that the way of the hero is actually the better way to be.
Oh,
And
he
so-
learned.
And so he embodies the spirit of being the good guy. And
See.
and that's it. Oh, that one's not loading for some reason.
Railroad track is too long by 1 pixel. Oh, I'm gonna cry.
Oh, now
But I do need to add like a straight part here. Fuck. Alright, okay. I need to add like a second part of the track. We'll do this.
Now I'm
there.
having errors. No exit signal. It's a block. There's a block. Block. What do you mean no exit signal? What if I just get rid of that?
Put that there. Now have that take over there. Okay, that should work. That should work, right? In theory, that'll work. Because that's like, what? That's all connected to the same area. I reconnected the track, it didn't work. Right, cool. Some of it works, some of it doesn't for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, I have no clue what's going on here. Son, I don't know what's going on with this intersection, but it's just not working.
Me neither. I've got a. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
I know. I've also got a. Wait, no. Have I fixed that intersection? Okay, that intersection's working now. That's a relief. Let's carry on the road and see how long. I think I'm now entering the swamp, so I'm near to you. I'm almost there. Oh, there's another intersection here. Hopefully this one goes alright. But yeah, like what a completely like the worst possible story. Like this is like the last Skywalker level of nonsense. Like the main bad guy has replaced the main good guy. The main good guy's dead. Peter Parker is dead.
Oh, wait, what? He's dead?
Yeah, he's just dead.
Oh, that's...
And his mind has been switched with Doctor Octopus.
It's kind of lame.
It's so. What's the point of this? What is the point of this story?
Yeah,
Like,
what is the point of this
who
story?
would write this?
A hack writer. That's who.
I think so. And
Okay,
and
not...
he's a good guy now because he's read the memories of Spider-Man. He's like, oh, being a good guy's good, but he's literally Doctor Octopus.
I see. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not getting any fixes for this stupid fucking thing. Ugh. You come take a crack at this. Because I want to, like...
I'm
I
almost
want to be sure that I'm not going mad. Like, yeah, everything's connected up. Everything's connected up fine. With either 1 to 2 rail gap, which is fine usually, right?
Yeah, it's like the colors. Like the colors are different, then they're still registering as different rails.
They're not.
Oh, hopefully it doesn't. I mean, I don't even know if that is a problem. I don't know. I'll have a gander at it myself.
What if I place the block signal? What if I place the signals earlier in the track? Maybe that'll help. Path signal, block signal.
I love how like you play this game and like when I play this game and I'm new to Psych, I give myself a really easy time. You know, like, like, oh, okay, I won't bother with these big complicated intersections yet. Oh, I'll do this once I'm more experienced in the game. But then you, like, immediately throw yourself at the hardest possible thing. I see you've already...
Well,
okay, I've reached where
I have
you've caught up, so I
plans.
see there's signals here at this, in the swamp, so
Yeah.
I see you've already gone through there.
And you're seeing my goddamn. Okay, well, get
Right.
to the spaghetti.
There we
Get to
go.
spaghetti junction. Spaghetti junction is where it's like going down.
Oh, my train's facing the wrong way.
That
No,
works.
no,
While the
no,
blocks.
no, it's 'cause
I fixed it. I fixed it. While the block signals are just being a little fucky.
Come
All right.
on
Okay.
now.
Whatever.
Don't
Whatever.
tell me after all this time, I'm
Whatever.
coming over.
You can come take a look at this. But
Like
there was a
you've
single
been-
block signal.
Crying for help, begging for help.
There
for
was
20 minutes.
it was a single block signal. It doesn't like it when I place it closer.
I'm gonna show up, and it's like, there's no problem there. What are you whining about?
I hate this. I hate this fucking
hold on,
ass fucking train system.
Oh, there's hold on. I've got more block signals to add. You went down one pathway, I'm gonna go down the other. Okay, I think that should complete a lot of it. I'm gonna come and like, what are you talking about, Gather? There's nothing wrong with this.
There we go. All right. Okay, I fixed it. Whatever. It was like I just need to place the block signal just a little bit off from the main line. That's all I need to do. That's all I need to do.
Oh, there's another intersection here. Okay, let's add signals.
Oh, I hate this shit, man. This shit makes me upset.
To be fair, you clearly have, like, your first encounter with signals has been with, like, something that, like, I didn't encounter until, like, several hours into doing all this.
Yeah, vile and disgusting behavior. Vile and disgusting behavior.
You know, it's like you haven't used signals for, like, more than, like, 30 minutes, and, like, immediately you're dealing with a wonky intersection.
Exactly. I fixed it though. I got it working. I got it working.
Madness.
I did it. I fixed the thing. I fixed the thing. I fixed the thing. You know. I did the thing. I did the thing. I did the thing. You know.
Oh, why are these still giving me weird signals?
Coming up to where I think you are at this point. Because I think I'm coming up to where you are.
Now I've got a wonky intersection.
See, it's not so fun, is it, huh, Mr. Sun?
Right,
Mr. I know everything about this,
These
huh?
ones are the wrong colour. Maybe that'll fix it. Why?
You're close to you.
What? Why is that way?
Hi, Sun. Hi.
I'm confused. What?
Where are we?
Oh,
Where
I
are we?
know
Where are we?
why.
Where are we?
Hold on. Delete these.
You get it? You get it?
Ah! Signals! They're terrible.
Is this the block? These are block signals, right? Where's the path? Hello. That's a block. That's a path. This is a block. There you go. That should be good now.
Where'd the path signal go?
Nope. I don't know where the path signal is. I placed it. It's still there. It's there on my screen.
Oh. Ah, it's not there on my screen.
I'll place it. I'm replacing it. I'm replacing it. Don't worry. Right. Still an issue going on with the signal with this one. So we gotta do this, right?
It's like replacing them sometimes works.
There you go. Fixed it.
Is it all working?
Yep, I had to place it just out of sync a little bit. Look at that. Look at that. For some reason, that's what it wants. I don't know
Well,
what's supposed to do
if
that.
it works, it works. Which way do we have
You
signals?
can take a train.
This way or the other way?
We've already got signals going this way. We've got
Okay,
some
I'll
going this way.
go-
I don't know if they're as frequent as what you want.
Oh, it doesn't really matter. Like the reason I'm placing them more frequently is because in my past solo mode I had barely any computers, so I didn't place them very frequently.
Okay, well, I'm placing it kind of infrequently. Teehee.
Yeah, you can always add more or remove something. Like it doesn't matter.
That's true.
Yeah, is that working? There we go. Looks like we're reaching the end of time. Oh, we'll probably wrap it up soon.
Yeah,
It's a
we're doing pretty well, I think.
Nice chill episode. We did like some catch up, I guess.
We did some catch up. We did some stuff. We did some more rails. You know, it wasn't anything fancy.
Depending on
but
how much,
you know what,
depending on how much time we have. If I finish these signals here, I might see if I can wrangle some rails over to where the what's it called? Where that
Bye,
computer factory
son.
is. Hello.
Bye, son.
Goodbye.
I just place like miners all over the place.
Yeah. The grounds yearn for the miners.
True. I'm gonna go and play. Actually, no, where's my man cannon? My man cannon's there. Yeah, I see it. Okay, right. Heading towards the man cannon now.
Oh, trains are so much fun. I love trains.
True. I love trains. And you get hit by a train.
So true. Alright, let's see. Ah, yeah. I see. It seems everything's working. I wonder what the solution was. I suspect it's like part of that trouble with like the sort of double thing. I don't know what's going on there. I suspect that was part of the trouble, huh?
Oh, I didn't get to tell my invertebrate facts. I'm so sad. I'm so upset.
over.
No,
Quick! You have to tell them now in the last 20 minutes.
I'll tell you guys about the geothermal vent invertebrates because those are kind of cool. At least a few of them.
We love geothermal vents here. What do they call it? What do they call it? Abiogenesis or something? Where
Yes,
life came from it?
abiogenesis.
We love them. We love them here.
Where they're technically not using sunlight. I mean, the only way they're using sunlight is they're using photosynthesis that happens on the surface to get oxygen, right? Because that oxygenates the water that they're in.
Amazing.
But outside of that, they completely do not care about the sun.
Why is there a power pole here?
I don't know, where are you?
There's a power pole.
What's it connected to?
Nothing.
Okay, then get rid of it.
I don't know. Maybe it's there for a reason.
I don't know.
Your wonky junction, I assume it's doing some magic.
It's back. Oh, if it's that wonky junction, it was literally just like to discern where the starts of each like intersection were.
I'm not. You know what they say? It's like that thing with the Valve source code. I think it was where it's like I don't know what this does, but if I try deleting it, it breaks the game.
Oh, that's the coconut image.
Yeah, the coconut image.
What are you eating McDonald's right now?
I'm eating a chocolate bar.
What you eating? Chocolate bar? What chocolate bar? What the fuck?
With the yeah, it's like I don't know what this power pole does, but it makes the intersection work. Yeah, we don't dare delete it. Alright, is that everything, or are there still... Oh, I know there's one more area where I haven't covered in signals yet.
Yeah.
I think that might be the last area, and I think after that, I think we may have covered everything. There might be...
You've done the desert, right?
Yeah, I've done the desert, I think.
All of it?
I'm not sure. There's an area where it goes up a hill, and it goes into like the sort of foresty area after the desert.
Yeah.
I don't think that's been done.
Okay.
I'm just doing
well,
this,
we could do it. We could do
tunnel.
it later. We can always do it later, you know.
Yeah.
We've got time.
This area here, this should finish up the last amount of our time.
We made a lot of improvements. To the base. I'd say that's pretty good.
I think so. And having signals is really good. I don't think Digby's still here, but in Digby's world, his why am I getting a signal here? No, it's probably fine because it's the end of the rail. But with the in Digby's world, he hasn't got any signals yet. But he's got lots of trains. And I think at some point, as his world...
using isolated rail lines?
Yeah, all his rails are isolated. And I suspect at some point, he's going to think, like, he's going to make a factory, and he's going to see that there's a rail really close to it. That would be really convenient just to use the same rail. And then he'll be doing what we're doing. He'll add a load of signals.
Yeah, we're kind of jumping the shark on it, and just by placing rails all over the map.
Yeah, it's like it's infrastructure.
Yeah. I still think we should destroy more vegetation, though. That's my opinion.
No, I disagree. I think, with the exception of the swamp, I think the nature looks nice. If you get rid of the nature, then the world doesn't look so nice anymore. And then it's miserable to live in.
I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, that was another thing I was doing on that solo world. So that point of that solo world was I wanted to experiment with things. There was mainly trucks. I mainly wanted to experiment with trucks. But there's also a few other things. I wanted to experiment with building all in one place. So that was why the factory was so big, because everything was all in one place.
Ah, I see. Okay.
and then like sort of various like ideas of building styles within that. Like it was deliberately spaghetti.
Okay.
And like a sort of experimental idea. Like rather than having like a line of like 10 refineries, have like a line of like 5 refineries, and then put the other 5 refineries somewhere else, so it doesn't look as uniform. And stuff like that. And there's some interesting aesthetic experiments there, I think. Because I think at some point I will want to make another solar world and like make it like a proper solar world. Hopefully with that Satisfactory Plus mod, if that ever emerges. So I hope that would be fun. I hope that would be fun. I didn't experiment with much verticality. That was something I didn't try. I should have tried building towers. But the trouble I have with building towers is that they get very tall very quickly, and I think that's too tall. I think I'd want it to be a little bit more square shaped and not tower shaped. So they're sort of like figuring out how to do that. Well, there was also what else didn't I not experiment with that I should have? Not sure. I tried to experiment with hypertubes, and I did make a few of them, and I did learn some stuff. Like I learned that it's good not to make them too long. Like don't make it super long, because sometimes you want to go multiple places, and so you make them like short, and then you go from one to the next to the next to the next, rather than having one long one. And that gives you more control.
You just have a dedicated hypertube station. That's what you do.
Yeah, or you can have like a hypertube station, like, and hopefully the upcoming junctions will kind of solve that.
Yeah, that's also true. They got like a feature coming in.
But like as they are presently, having super long hypertubes is not very nice to have.
No, we'll put a block there.
One thing I kind of actually want to try is, you know, the factory cart, like the dinky little factory cart.
Yeah, that one. That's very silly looking, right?
It's very silly with it, but there's some subtle benefits to it. It doesn't require fuel or power.
Why does that not change color? It's part of a different block. It's showing no error. What the frick? Okay, what the freak? Wait, whatever.
The little factory carts, they don't require any fuel or power to run. Which is which means if you have enough of them, then they're actually like the best way of transporting items. Because trains require power, trucks require power and coal, whereas factory carts don't require anything. And I think what I might try in the future is as like a really early game thing, transport items using factory carts. I think that'd be kind of funny.
I could work. But factory carts aren't automatic, though. They don't have much storage.
Yeah, they've got one storage, I think.
That's really silly.
But
I don't think it's worth it. They're slow and they fall over easily.
I think it'd be funny.
True. Right. Okay. I'm gonna end the world here. Get out of here.
One moment. I want to see what you built. I'm coming towards you. I want to see what you've done.
Well, I added more things. I added more.
Yeah. So you did the area that went up the hill. That's good. I think that is the last area.
Well, we need more train. We need more rails. That's the thing, is we need more train tracks.
Oh yeah, this rail down here just leads to nowhere, so don't worry about that.
Yeah. Oh no, we're missing one. No, we're missing a few areas actually. Hold on, never mind. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we'll do it next stream. Right? We'll do it next stream.
Let me get on top of this foundation here before quitting.
I'm gonna get on top of this power tower before saving and exiting. Right.
That was good fun.
Raid into someone. Let's raid into someone.
If there's any viewers, well, okay. I don't think there's any viewers.
You do it. You raid into someone.
Let me see who's live, who would appreciate.
Go say hello to. Let's go say hello to. We could say hello to. Who have we got?
No, there's no viewers. It's over. All worried out. I feel bad streaming with one viewer.
There's Ramnor. Ramnor's in here. And Digby, there's two. There's two.
I
literally looked. They're not. It's not counting them because Twitch is a bit weird.
No, it's gonna say rain with one viewer. I don't trust it.
Okay, all right.
I don't trust it.
Whatever you say, Mister.
2 viewers. Okay, hold on. It's gone up to 2 viewers. I think we've scared away the lurkers.
See.
All right.
I was right. I was correct.
Do I raid Ace or do I raid Morg? They're collabing.
You raid. Let's raid Morg.
Okay, which one's more? That one's...
I'm playing with Mork.
Wait,
I'm actually playing with Mork tomorrow, which will be fun.
let's see. Radus
I'm
Molgus.
also a viewer, but it's not counting me because I have the stream muted, but I will get rated. That's the thing to note,
One
right?
viewer. Two viewers.
3. There's more. It's going up.
I don't know. We're
I laugh at the streamer, chat. Laugh at the streamer.
whatever.
I was correct all along.
I just like the solution will be I gotta become more popular. I need to add boobs to my model. That's what I need to do.
Lol streamer, lol. Exactly. You know what you need to do? You need to raid people so people know you stream. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, I should do that as well. Okay, whatever.
Exactly. I'm correct. I'm only ever correct. Teehee.
Did it work? It did work.